all fucked up. That's pretty much what it is right now.
You are live.
Nixie,
No.
Nixie, I want to choke the shit out of you. If you weren't my little sister, I would. Oh yeah, I'll do a live tonight. Yeah, okay. No, no money for load. No access to internet. Bobby ain't feeling good, and I knew it was. I sound like who do I sound like? The Campbell channel. Fuck. I need a haircut. How's the lighting? How's the sound?
We're on full screen. 1 viewers.
Hi, my name is Nixie. I'll be your host tonight.
For people, what's up, everybody?
What's happening for people? Yeah, Nixie couldn't make it. First it was, what's up, Dane? I can see from here. First it was no load on the phone, but then I'll go to the internet cafe, and then there's something wrong with the Pico Wi-Fi. That's the one you put like pesos in, coins, and you get like an hour worth of Wi-Fi that wasn't working right. I think they got a bunch of internet outages in the Philippines right now. I was watching Jules in the Philippines, and he was talking about the internet had went out for like that whole area where he lives. He's somewhere over there in Dumaguete. You should check out his channel, Jules in the Philippines. He doesn't spell it like Jules Jordan. He spells it a different way. You'll find it. Just look for it. What's up, Dane?
It's raining hard.
How's the sound?
In Florida.
Is it?
Damn storm.
It used to rain when I lived in Kissimmee, BVL, Benaventura Lakes, every day at like 11:15 in the afternoon. It would rain like hell, and then like 2 hours later it would stop. I lived all over Florida, from Tallahassee all the way down to South Beach, Miami, on Euclid Street. I lived on Euclid Street. It was right off the main strip. I remember coming out of rave parties at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Mind you, I got into the nightclub about 2 o'clock in the morning. So we're talking what? 2 to 11. 9 hours in a nightclub on GHB, ecstasy pills, drinking, all kinds, snorting that special K shit. Oh my God. Let me stop talking. People think I'm a criminal. People think I'm a criminal. That's why I married my wife. She's like, she talked me into Nixie couldn't make it. So next thing you know, I'm like, you can't do the live stream by yourself. I said, let me help you out. Plus, I miss you guys, to tell you the truth. Bobby's not feeling good lately. First, I fell in the wheelchair. That wasn't the worst of it. I got an indwelling catheter. Google that. It's basically, I put it in myself too. You got to blow it up with like 10 cc's of sterile water. And it wasn't draining. So needless to say, I drank a bunch of water. How many milliliters? 1,500 milliliters of water. No pee was coming out. 1,500 milliliters of water. No pee's coming out. So finally, Isla said, just pull that thing out of you. I put the syringe on her, got about 5 cc's of water out of it, and you would have thought you were watching a porno flick. That whole tube, the hose, everything shot out of my ding-a-ling, hit her in the head, big stream of piss shot across the room. All right, it's a little bit too much TMI. And I passed out after that. I was peeing for an hour straight. And I've been in a bad mood ever since. So who's, wait a minute.
I'm going to read for you.
Put the questions up there.
Hey guys, I have a storm here, so I don't know how long I will be on.
Dane, so that knocks out your internet?
I'm going to read.
Even in Florida? Because in Jersey, we would have storms and
You keep cutting
I'm not sure if it's me or you. If it's raining there, it's probably you.
internet?
No, it's not. I don't think so. I think it's you,
Not sure if it's me
Dane,
or you.
working okay for
Okay.
me.
Jesse
Oh, okay.
Osby.
So he thinks it's Dane.
Yeah. I think it's you, Dane,
But thank
working
you,
okay
Jesse.
for me. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
Jesus, Bobby, you have lived a wild
Yeah,
life.
you don't even want to know. If I started talking, I think the DEA would probably show up. They'd be mashing the door with a big ramrod. Oh my God. I'd say, all right, extradite us back to the United States right now. My wife and me, she's involved too. So we got a bounty hunter that watches. I don't know if he wants me saying his name. He's a president of the Bounty Hunters Association out of New York City. He's super cool. I just recently I accepted his friend's request on Facebook. I'm like, let me cut this guy some slack. He's probably super cool because bounty hunters and cops, there's a big difference. I used to hang out with this guy. His last name was Martin. He was a bail bonds agent, and he was the worst, doing bumps of coke, riding around with a whiskey bottle between his legs, drinking and all kinds of crazy shit. And he's like, Bobby, you want some? He's handing me his plastic baggie and a straw. I'm like, yo, dude, aren't you the bail bonds agent? He was crazy. Absolutely fucking nuts.
Dane, I'm good. I went shopping yesterday and spent all of $600 on food and
Damn.
beer. I only bought 6 cases of beer. I had not room in
Both my
my
fridges.
fridges.
He's got a spare refrigerator. That's always good to have. One out in the garage or in the basement.
Jesse Osby, yeah, that would put me in a bad mood too. Glad you can smile about it though.
Yeah, you gotta laugh. If you're not laughing, you're crying.
Fake. What is that? Fake it till you make.
Yeah. Or first you were laughing and then you were crying.
Oh,
I'll save the crying for the end.
Dane, Bobby, if you fort, I have lost net.
Hmm. Sorry about that, bro.
Jesse sounds like Allah is a good influence to calm you down.
Oh yeah, that's why I married her, man.
Did I calm you down?
Yeah,
Because
big time.
only 30 minutes, and then Bobby is like,
I was irritated.
panicking.
You know how like you're staying home and you're not going to the party or you're not, I wasn't feeling too good. And then all of a sudden Nixie's like not showing up. So I was like, I'll do it myself. And I was like,
Yeah, because it's so embarrassing to people that wait for
yeah,
the live.
you can't let people down like that. So how many people we got on here?
10 people.
Wow, what's up, 10 people? I got one.
Yuka. Party like a rock star.
Yeah, back in the day, a little bit. I wasn't really into the drugs, like once in a while, like experimental. Did acid twice in my life, mushrooms once, ecstasy like 3 or 4 times, special K twice, on a heroin like 4 times, weed, I don't know, I lost count. But anyway, it's not really a big deal. I don't know. I know people that were doing shit like every day of the week, and they screwed themselves up permanently. You can't do ecstasy like 5, 6 days a week. It just, you get cooked. Or acid, people dropping acid all the time. You wind up like a pumpkin head, drooling on yourself and shit. Or you get a bad batch of acid, you're done. This guy roadside, he's a biker. He was trying to put at a Grateful Dead concert. He was trying to put LSD 25 drops in his eye, and the fucking cap of the little eyedropper bottle popped off, and like, I don't know, like 500 doses of acid just like showered into his right eye and went all over his face, and that shit goes right through your skin. So he was up there in the woods for, I don't know, like a week. He just like disappeared, man. They were like, where did he go? And I was like, I don't know where he went. He was here a minute ago, and they found him like 7 days later. He didn't know where he was at. He didn't know what was going on. All screwed up. Anyway, that acid some serious stuff. I love it, but I've only done it a couple times.
They both of my freezers are full as well. No, my two fridges are in the kitchen. I do a lot of cooking. Both my freezers are in my kitchen as well. Then Bobby looked up the group Axe Rock and a roll party in the streets. That was the first zone I was partying with on my first year of college. First one.
Yeah, college. They say there's a lot of partying in college, but in the Navy, there's unreal drinking going on. I remember I lived in the barracks when I first got stationed Pearl Harbor submarine base, and it was nasty because wake up early Saturday morning. They hired subcontractors to clean the barracks, and usually they didn't come until Sunday because they knew there was going to be puke everywhere. I mean, there was piles of puke all over the place. From get a bunch of 18-year-old kids, and they enlist in the Navy, and they're thousands of miles away from home. Drinking age in the Navy's 18, and man, talk about partying. Holy cow!
Party.
Not too much with alcohol is a drug, but there was a whole bunch of drinking going on. I mean, like out of control. Like they said, they had big parties in college. The Navy's got to be up there, if not equal to or more. I'm serious. There's some serious drinkers in the Navy. Holy shit! And the Australian military, forget it. Forget about it. I remember looking up at the ceiling. Club Beeman's. Look up Club Beeman's, Pearl Harbor. I remember being in enlisted members club, looking up at the ceiling and then throwing up in the cab. I tried to outdrink an Australian guy. He was from the Australian Navy. Those guys used to show up for work drunk. Oh my God. They're drinking like fish, man. Two's beer.
Put the turbo way, it's because the microphone is so loud. How's our
That's my
sound?
BFM. Big fucking mouth.
You're all James. Hi,
God.
Bobby and Ella. Good to see you both. Recovering from a hangover, can't do it anymore. As soon as I hit 50, I realize when the bright lights make my eyes tired, it's time to go home.
Yeah, that drinking stuff is like a young man's game. Drinking, forget it. It's like I can't do it no more. Ever since this accident and all that, I drink. What do I drink? Like once every 2 months.
Yes, sometimes.
About once every 2 months, I get rocked. This guy said I look like I was on crack in that short clip
That is
video.
old
It says
video.
that was when I was drinking that Johnny Walker Black. Man, that shit tasted like chemicals. Woo! I was tore up in that electric wheelchair, and then I fell over. I misjudged the curb. Somebody was saying you were lucky there wasn't like pieces of rebar sticking up. That would have been it. That shit would have pierced my liver or something. Because I saw a guy fall off a 3-step ladder and land on a number 11 rebar. That's like that big around. And it actually went through his back, broke his liver in two pieces, and came out his side. And we had to cut that thing off. We had to lift him up. We couldn't pull him off of that piece of rebar. We had to cut it off with the target saw underneath of him, and all the sparks are shooting out all over the place. Had like a fire blanket down there, 3 people holding a fire blanket, and 2 people holding the saw, and like 6 people lifting him up off that number 11 rebar that he fell back on. It, he died. I was driving a dually truck, the King Cab truck. He was in the back seat, and he was bleeding all over the place. And the cops started chasing me, and we were screaming out the windows when I was running red light. because we were at a busy intersection, and I just got on the horn and went like right out into the intersection and just started going. And we were yelling at the cops, "We're going to the hospital, follow us." And then a cop got in front of us. He was smart enough to get in front of us and put his lights on. He had the lights on when he was behind us, but he really started putting the lights on with that thing that goes. What do they call that? What's the name of that thing? I forget what they call it. You got all them buttons and shit in a police
Trumpet.
car. Trumpet.
Trumpet.
We'll call it the trumpet.
It's a trumpet.
Angel trumpets.
Idris.
That's another thing. Talk about porn.
What's up, Bobby T? It's Erich from the deep Detroit.
From the Detroit, Rock City. Love watching the channel. Keep it real, brother. Hope you're feeling better soon. Have a yeah, oh yeah, got the best nurse around. That's for sure. Oh yeah, I know who this guy is. What's up, bro? I was checking out your picture on YouTube. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Detroit. That's where they make a lot of cars.
In what part
Detroit went downhill though. They still got a lot of streets like in the hood with like abandoned buildings, or did they clean that area up? I remember this was a long time ago, back in the 80s. There was like a lot of the neighborhoods, the old neighborhoods were like falling apart over there. There was like abandoned cars and it looked like Escape from New York City, that movie, in some areas. Where I come from, Newark, New Jersey, it's just as bad. There's every city you go to, they got a bad area. In Philadelphia, Kensington Avenue, I had Isla watching the video. All the zombies, they're shooting this xylene or Xilex. I don't know what they call it. It's worse than fentanyl. It's like a hippopotamus tranquilizer, like an elephant tranquilizer. They use it on horses and shit. So if that thing can anesthetize, if it could put a horse down, imagine what it does to a person. And then it eats your skin because it's not made for human consumption. And it's for like surgery on animals. Just like Special K is a feline tranquilizer for cats. So that's what happens. It's easier to make chemical drugs in the United States. You buy the chemicals in China or Mexico, or a chemist can make that shit. Why bother going through trying to sneak it through airports or on shipping containers on ships or in vehicles when you could just get the precursor chemicals in your own country and just cook some shit up? Like that movie, what was it, Breaking Bad? I never watched that until recently, and that was like the number one TV show in the United States. Breaking Bad. It was about a science teacher that lost his job, and I think his wife got cancer, and he started making crystal methamphetamine to pay the bills, and then shit got out of control. That's what happens. You sell a little bit, make some easy come, easy go. Easy money and get you in trouble. Nothing's easy.
Bobby. Look up Axe Rock and roll party in the street, listening to it, and I think how a song like that came out back then, way before their time.
You told me it, Dane. You told me about that before, and I looked it up. Axe Rock on YouTube, and they had a bunch of songs on the playlist. That's 1980s.
1980s?
The music nowadays is straight garbage. I don't know. They got a couple good artists here and there, but old school rock and roll is like the best. The 60s, halfway through the 50s and the 60s. That's where it was. When my dad was young. I drink once a year from January to December 31st. There you go. Right? What do they say? I drink on days that end in, what is that saying? I forget. Somebody said it one day.
Jesse, yeah, those videos from Kensington Avenue are so depressing.
Yeah, it's crazy. The cops just gave up. Like, what are you going to do? A lot of those people don't want to help. You're overcrowding the jails. The minute they get out, they're going right back to it. They don't want to get cleaned up. They're just in that vicious cycle. And getting off opioids is pretty rough too. I remember when I got out of the nursing home, man, oh man, my doctor lied to me and said, "Oh yeah," because they didn't think I was leaving. They're like, "This guy didn't get out of bed for." I didn't get out of bed for like 3.5 years. When I used to shower, they would put me on a trans. They would roll this plastic thing underneath me and transfer me from my air mattress bed, hospital bed, onto like this mesh shower bed that was made out of PVC pipe and had like a mesh screen that you laid on, and the water would just run right through it, and I would wash from my hair all the way down to my knees, and then this cool lady would come in, Evelyn or Brenda B or Terry, whoever it was, they would help me. They would wash my legs from my knee down to my feet. They would wash my feet for me. And I would spend like an hour in the shower. I was burning up all this hot water. So I never got out of bed and got in a wheelchair. It was just going into the shower like 3 times a week. And I just laid in the bed naked, man. They had me on all kinds of Oxycontin. They had me on 280 milligrams of Oxycontin a day, 24 milligrams of Dilaudid, and 2 Xanax a day, man. I was gassed up. And then people were accusing me of selling it. I said, hell no, I'm not selling that shit. They're like, you don't even, how are you functioning? I said, I don't know, I got a high tolerance. But I was, think about it, falling from the 6th floor of a building, and I got a rod that goes from my collarbone right on both sides of my spine. So it's up to here. And then 6 inches below my belly button is where the rod starts. So I got 2 rods on both sides of my spine, and then 14 vertebrae. There's 28 bolts in 14 vertebrae because 14 times 2 is 28. So 2 bolts. It basically it looks like a ladder. I broke myself in half. 9 ribs through the right lung, 6 ribs through the left lung, punctured both lungs, broke my scapula, ripped my tricep muscle on my right arm, and shattered T11 and like 5 other vertebrae were just like pulverized. It looked like somebody smashed me in the back with a sledgehammer like 30 times while I was laying on the ground. It was bad. I'm just lucky I didn't die. I thank God every day. And then when I came off them opioids, I was alone. The pandemic was in full swing. My CNA, certified nurse's assistant, was not showing up for work. My mother couldn't be there because she was isolated in the house with her husband. So there was nobody around. And then I started detoxing off of all that medication I told you about. And man, I'll tell you what, I don't think I slept for about 3 weeks. And I'll talk about stuff coming out of both ends, down there and out my mouth. Crazy thoughts. This the one that right here. I was like, I'm having a rough day, babe. Wow. Yo, thank you for the super sticker, bro. Holy cow. Thank my man there. That was super
Thank
cool.
you, Idris.
Dretz. Just curious, what's your first name? Eddie, Edward, Edretz. That could be a nickname too. Thank you. Wow, that's super nice. It just made my day, my night. It's nighttime. Don't
Nighttime.
say
Night.
kap kabu ka. We're not in
Thailand.
freaking Thailand, right?
I'm just practicing.
Yeah, that reminded me of Thailand. I
Who is
never
that?
been. I never been to Thailand.
No.
I don't know.
Alex, what is that? Who is that? I forgot her name.
Alex's girl,
Yeah.
Palm.
Palm. Yeah. Palm Oyster.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super sticker. Super nice of you. Thank you. Yeah, I got some. We got some big news. You want to tell them about our plan on where we're going?
No.
You want me to tell them?
No, you just don't. Or
Just
I
show
don't
up
know.
with the
It's up to
video.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stay tuned to the videos. You got big old surprise coming. Bobby Diaz, I'm stressing out of my freaking mind. Whoo, he's getting ready to get real over here in the Philippines. It's going to be something serious. That $20 is going to come in handy. I'll tell you what. Good God. It's going to be rough. But anyway, it'll be interesting for the vlog. People are going to be like, wow, I can't believe he's over there now. He's out there. I'm trying to drop hints. We're going to be on the move here pretty soon, and we're going way out in the sticks, out in the jungle, way out in the province. Power goes out 3 times a week. Internet shaky. Oh my God. Here we go. So I'm tired of paying all this money for rent, internet, electricity. So we're gonna take a walk on the wild side and move out to the province. Get closer to my mother and father-in-law. That'll be cool. My father-in-law is crazy, just like me, so we should get along pretty good.
Wait.
Isla's got some, not my father-in-law. Isla's got some criminals in her family, so I was like, I ain't worried about that.
Jesse, maybe I missed it, but I have never seen in a video where you said, "How did you fall?" Was it when you were working? Yeah, we did not make a video about it, right?
All right, this is what happened. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I come up with the bright idea. I don't want to wake the manager up that runs the apartment building. And I had climbed up the outside of the building showing off for some friends. I said, I can climb that building all the way to the 6th floor. They're like, no, you can't. There's no fire escapes. There's no like finger holes to, put your fingers in and like toe holes to get up the side of the building. But what they didn't realize was there was a cutout where the fire steps were. There was a cutout in the building, and there was a window every floor. And my feet, I had to hop up on the first story roof. That was the overhang for the entry and the exit of this building. Just Google. All right, this is all you got to do. Google Man Falls, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Man Falls off building, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. And there's 13 pictures of me on the gurney, and the fire department's there, and this guy's like snapping pictures like I was famous or something. At 3 o'clock in the morning, and and I'm black too. Look at I turned black. My face turned jet black. My hands, my ankles. You can see my ankles and my hands and my face in the picture, and it's just all blacked out. And they didn't do that to protect my identity. The blood in your spine. You know when you gut a fish, how the blood along the spine is that real dark colored blood. When I shattered my spine, that really dark blood started circulating through my body. My face turned like blue black, my hands, and the cops were like looking down at me with their mouths open. And I'm like, I'm looking up at them. I'm like, yo, what's wrong? Why is everybody like looking at me like I'm possessed or something? They're like, nothing, Bobby. You're gonna be all right. And you didn't break. They're telling me I didn't break my back. I'm reaching down, touching my legs. I told them, I said, I really messed up. I said, I busted my spine. I can't feel my legs. And they said, oh, the feeling will come back. No, no, I couldn't feel shit. So I knew I messed up. I was about 5.5, almost to the 6th floor, and I had my feet on one wall and my shoulders on the other wall, and I was going up like this, like a crab. I used to be in really good shape, and I was about 185 pounds, about 4% body fat, had like a 16 pack of stomach muscles, softball bicep. I was like built like a statue. So I went up the building, and I couldn't get the window open. I tried it from the bottom, I tried it from the top, and my legs started getting fatigued from pushing so hard. A corner of that building, it was like Garden State brick face. The original building had brick on the outside of it, and they put chicken wire and I think no, it was foam insulation with the big washers and the Tapcon screws. And then they put chicken wire and they sprayed gunite concrete on the building, like about an inch thick. They put a gray color on first, and then they put like a sand yellow color. Then they scored lines in it to make it look like giant blocks. And if you guys know what gunite is, it's like a spray concrete. It's basically Garden State brick face. If you were around in the 80s on the East Coast of the United States, they used to have this commercial on television all the time about redo your house and make it look years better than it does now with that crappy aluminum siding or vinyl siding. Switch over to Garden State brick face. Call us at 1-800 get brick or whatever they said. I'm just making shit up. So, but that's what it was. It was like Garden State brick face, and I guess the corner was built up really thick with it. And I heard a pop, and what it was is my foot slipped off the edge because a piece of that gunite concrete snapped off, and that was it. I was just going through the air, looking up at the sky, falling from the sixth floor. A sudden stop got me, and a roof was a metal interlocking roof with ridges every like 46 inches or so. They had like a 6-inch ridge that stuck out. It was basically like a guillotine, and I came down on my back below my belly button, and it just my spine just basically exploded when I hit that. I might have been kind of curled up like a U, shaped like the letter U when I was falling. My feet were up here and my arms were up here, so my back was curved. And that was the first thing that came in contact with that ridge that was sticking up and just hit that metal ridge on that roof. It was the overhang roof, the entry and exit door, man. And I laid there for about 2 hours, and I was like, help, help. I started getting louder. Help! About 20 minutes into it, I said, somebody help me. And then I heard the door open down, like right underneath the roof I was laying on. And it was this older woman. She said, is there somebody on the roof? I said, yeah, just call 911 and tell them that Bobby D's on the roof. And that was it. That was all she wrote. Think about it. I could have hit my neck and been a quadriplegic. I could have just landed on my head and been like, I could have been like, oh. See, I could crack on handicapped people now because I'm one of them. I don't consider myself handicapped. Just a little bit physically challenged at the moment. That's all it is, right? I still wanted to fight my brother-in-law. He don't even know it. He's kind of silly, man. Him and my sister-in-law were fighting. He did something fucked up, and she came over here and she was telling me about it. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get an electric wheelchair and fucking beat this dude with a bat. So it don't matter, even if I'm in the chair. How you gonna feel telling the cops? They'd be like, damn, that dude in that wheelchair did that shit to you? Holy shit, what did he hit you with? So what's new? We got Barry Press in here. What's happening, Barry?
Wait, let's read.
Thank you for that super sticker again.
People, yeah, thank you, Idris. Jesse, maybe I missed it, but I have never seen in a video where you said, how did you fall? Oh, okay.
Well, I told you the long version.
Richard, amazing you are alive, bro. All the best to you and your family. Thank you, Richard.
Thank God, man.
Idris.
Every day.
Irich from the D.
Okay.
From the drain.
From the D. Oh, yeah.
Rich from the drain.
Rich from the D.
Barry, hi from Panorama City, California. What's up, Barry?
What's happening, Barry? Barry's old school. Been here since day one.
UK. special woman to help you through
Oh
this.
yeah, Filipinos are the nurses. Yeah, didn't die. James
James,
Dunn, what's
it's a
happening?
miracle.
What's up, JD? What's happening? There's Gary Johnson. What's up, Gary?
What's up, Gary? Good morning,
Oh,
it's
Gary's gonna be mad at me.
Babidi
I don't know if he. I
He's
don't know.
asking, oh, if are you moving permanently?
I knew it. I was getting ready to tell you today or tomorrow. Damn, Gary. Money situation's getting tight. We might move to my mother and father-in-law's house. During the pandemic, I was sending Isla money. Like Bitcoin was going to the moon. So I'm like, you know what? This poor Filipino girl had a leaky roof, no electricity. Check this out. Isla didn't have Nixie too. They were all living there. Raimi was already here in Cebu. They didn't have no electricity. They had water coming out of a garden hose, leaky roof. I mean, the house was just, you've seen what the houses look like over here. So I started sending Isla money. I said, let me see what she's going to do with this money, right? Maybe she's got a boyfriend over there. And I was just like, let me see what she does. I was like testing her. All of a sudden, it's like this big ass construction project. They got the women, my mother in law, Nixie, Isla. They're carrying bags of sand out of the creek. There's a big ass creek right next to the house. And when it floods, I always tell Isla, yo, stay away from that creek because this one can't swim too good. I got to teach her how to swim. My legs don't even work, and I'm not scared of drowning because I was like a fish. I was going to be a Navy SEAL, but I got in trouble. So I never went to Bud's training. I passed the basic test in boot camp. It's a swim, run, push ups, pull ups. You got to do it within a certain amount of time. They make you swim in your boondockers and your working blues after you run a couple miles. Then you got to do a bunch of push ups, bunch of pull ups, bunch of sit ups. Then you go right to the pool and they make you swim, I don't know, about a half a mile. Divers got one rating. It's diver, EOD, and then SEALs. And I qualified for the SEALs. I got the paperwork. You go on my Facebook page, you'll see that there's one piece of paper, and it's got my social security number blacked out, but my name's on it. They wanted me to re-enlist, and I had this guy following me. I used to work out a lot. I was built like a brick shit house, not an ounce of fat on me. And big difference nowadays. I'm fat as fuck.
You
I'm
lose
like a
weight.
I'm like a Buddha. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight since I got here. I knew that was coming, which is a good thing. Um, the laughing Buddha. Talk
Okay.
about Thailand. Um,
What is that?
what was
Every
I
now
talking about?
you're talking about.
About being a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, I can swim.
So I had this guy, white hair. He had like ice white hair, like just really white hair, and had these ice blue eyes. And I saw him in the gym. We were working out at Pearl Harbor Simicide. That's the surface ship side, and it had this big dome. If you guys were ever there, it's a big dome type geodesic type building. And this old dude was in there with his shirt off. He had a body of like a 20-year-old man. I mean, this dude was built. I was like, damn. And that guy was like following me. I'd go to a restaurant, he would be there. I'd go to a nightclub, he would be there. I'd go to the gym, he was there. He would show up like 15 or 20 minutes after me all the time. Finally, I confronted him and he fessed up. He says, listen, I'm going to be your tutor. I was like, tutor for what? I was like, who are you? He was something to do with the SEAL team. I don't know if it was like SEAL Team 6 or whatever it was. That's just off the top of my head. I scored really low on my math, my ASVAD test for the Navy, and then they I had extra tests right about the same time they gave me that swim and run test. And I scored really low in the math. So you got to know a lot of formulas for diving and just a bunch of other stuff. All mathematics. He was going to tutor me. He was a Navy SEAL. He wasn't active anymore. He was inactive. But he was. There's a lot of civilians that work with special forces and stuff. Special forces, not like the regular military.
18 people in here.
This dude was stalking me. I wonder. There's Ron McDon.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Oh wow, that's
Look
a
at
big
this guy.
house.
I thought that said gay. Look at this gay. I feel gay tonight.
That's my ass. What is that? They want to wait till they tell us where they are going, and Bobby tell us he plans on moving closer to his wife's family loving us. So I just had to laugh, Bobby.
Hmm. Yeah, I kind of spilled the beans on that one. I couldn't
Yeah.
couldn't hold it in no longer. Oh, my buddy Gary, man.
Jesse.
Gary's coming to Cebu too, man. Oh,
Oh wow, yeah, I
I
see
let
the
Gary
pics.
down.
I thought you were wearing a sky mask or something on that pictures book where you fell.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
turned
thought
black.
you're wearing sky mask.
Ski
Ski
mask.
mask? What is ski mask?
When you're skiing, you got the eye
Oh
holes
yeah.
and the thing. When
Mm-mm.
we watched that Den of Thieves, that movie,
Mm.
remember when they went into the
Yes.
bank
Mhm.
and they were wearing? You always, anytime you do a crime, you got to wear a stocking over your
Yep.
face, or don't forget to wear the ski mask so they can't. I laugh at
Just
these
like.
people. They go in there touching shit. They ain't got no rubber gloves on. But
Mhm.
nowadays, forensic, you can't even leave a rubber glove behind. Drop a cigarette butt, any kind of thing like that.
Jesse Jesus, that is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it was. That was. I think I had one bad day in my life. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
Ron said, Jesus Christ, man.
Thank God, Uncle Ron.
Jesse.
Ronnie, what is going on, bro?
Looking at the height of that building, it's amazing that you
I
survived.
used to sit at the kitchen table and look out the window and think I wanted to get like a barbell set with some dumbbells and have a rope so you could put the barbell like across the window so you could rappel down the side of the building in case there was a fire in a hallway and you couldn't get to like the steps, the staircase. Because I used to tell the girl I was living with, she was a piece of work, man. Oh my god. She's out there right now on that street, that that street in Philadelphia. What's the name of the street? Kensington. She's out there. She was abusing pain medication and got strung out. Switched to the heroin's cheaper, and next thing you know, she's out on the street. That chick drove me fucking nuts. Oh, God have mercy on her soul, man. Anyway,
Here, where are we now?
yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky I'm alive because I used to look out that window and say, "There's no way if you had to jump out this window and there was a fire, you're gonna break both your legs and your bones are gonna go right up through your body. You're gonna die instantly." So when I fell, it is a miracle I survived. Road to the Philippines.
God was looking after you. It's wonderful that you have a great sense of humor.
Yeah, I can't get sour over it. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you gonna do? You got a choice. You could either be bent out of shape about it or laugh about it. It kind of sucks, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. It just motivates me to do more, knowing I got one foot. Ron will tell you. Ron McDon, he'll tell you. We got one foot in the freaking graveyard, man. It wouldn't take but one bad urinary tract infection or anything, staph infection of your leg, and you're done. But it's like that for anybody. Ride around in the Philippines on one of those scooters, man, and traffic is bad over here. You get broadsided by a car, or a bus runs you over, or you just get in a bad car accident. I think Ron went off the overpass in a car and flipped that shit upside down or flipped it a couple times. They had to cut him out of the car with the jaws of life. He went through it. That's my buddy, man. He's over there in Makati, BGC, Manila area. He's got a lot more time under his belt than I do. So he's been through the ringer too, man. Shit ain't no fun. It
Yuka.
makes you think though.
Have you heard of Dr. Joy Dispenza? He teaches meditation to heal yourself. He broke his back in a bike accident and was told to never walk again. Many miracles do happen.
That name's very familiar.
Joe,
I'm gonna look him up.
Joe
Thank you for being
Dispenza.
here. How do you say that? Yuka?
Yuka.
Yuka. Thank you for being here, Yuka.
Road to the Philippines. I served in the Navy
Wow.
1988. 19 to 1992 was stationed on the USS Canopus AS-34.
What kind of ship is that? And where were you stationed out of? That ship is not ringing a bell. I got out in 88, 84 to 88. Station US AS 34. Road to the Philippines.
We're watching his video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Is that
watched it,
is that the
some of
one?
his
The
video.
ferry when they got on the ferry?
Yeah.
Is that the one? Road to the Philippines. We watch your channel.
Ron, I was saying
And
Jesus
Ron McDon,
Christ.
we watch your TikToks, and that shit's fucking hilarious.
He eats balut.
Woo, man, hell no.
So it's your time.
Yes, my time. No, we got to get them coconut grubs, them big maggot-looking things that are inching around. They look like giant yellow inchworms with that brownish red head with those pinchers on it. I got to get some of them. Some scorpions, regular earthworms. I just want to get some big ass night crawlers. Worms can't hurt you if you eat them. Parasite worms can hurt you, but not regular worms. We're gonna eat a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna try and outdo everybody. The ego's talking
Ron
because
said,
he's seen it once. He's seen it 100 times. Balut, 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 balut. Everybody's balut. You got to throw some coconut grubs in there, some earthworms.
you're going to eat alive that
I
coconut
yo, I
worm?
I'd eat a person. I'd be a cannibal in a minute, man. Some ass meat. You know that ledge? You got a girlfriend and she gets tan, and there's that one piece of that ass meat that never gets tan. I call it the ledge. I want that like a slice, like a wedge of cheese. That piece of meat right there. Just chewing on some ass meat. All right, let me stop talking. Oh,
Ron said, I was
Ron.
saying Jesus Christ about your fault. Thank God you're still here because that was crazy.
Yeah, man. You went. Tell them your story, man. You went off the freaking overpass in a vehicle. That's crazy, man. Imagine flying through the air. Whee! And then you hit that hard landing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dane.
Thank you, Dane. Appreciate that.
Where's Nix and Ray Ray?
Nick's abandoned us. I'm fucking pissed off, Nick's. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do the live stream. Bobby's like, ever since the catheter stopped working and got clogged up, and my bladder is just getting bigger and it's stretching and it's stretching and it's stretching. My kidneys are the kidney pressure, kidney hydrosis. The pain started going. I felt it on both sides of my spine, throbbing, and then below my belly button, throbbing. And then Isla came up with a good idea. I think we need to take the catheter out because you drank 1.5 bottles of these water, 1,500 milliliters, and no urines in the pee bag. I took 5 cc's of sterilized water out of the what do you call it? The balloon that's in my bladder, and that it just shot the hose right out with the balloon on the end of it. Everything it just came flying out like Wonderama when they used to open up them jars and that spring-loaded snake would pop out. That's the sound like if I would have caught that on video. Yep.
Gary, I found one
Yeah, it
article.
said I fell out a window. First article was I fell out a window. Gary, they said somebody threw me out a window. That was like the original article. Then it said somebody had escorted me up to the roof and shoved me off the roof. There was a bunch of crazy articles that came out. There was a bunch, and then they retracted their articles. They had all kinds of stories. I was thrown out the window, I fell out the window, and then I fell off the roof. Like, come on, man. You got like 3 different stories going on.
I burp one, then I forgot that I have microphone.
You burp? Yeah, Filipinos burp and fart. They won't
No,
even. They don't
I'm just
even.
like I'm
They don't even acknowledge it or claim it. It just comes out. Like Nixie. Brr. I'm like, damn. I was like, yo, you just burp like that? Yeah, why? I'm like, holy shit. Like a lot of bass. Like a big amount of air just come blasting out. I'm like, wow. Gotta I'm gonna watch Barbie tomorrow. Yeah, you gotta invest in Mattel. See, I'm always looking at the stock market side. I'm out of gas now though. One day I'll have money and I'm gonna do it to it again. Round two. I'm gonna watch Barbie tomorrow. Y'all coming with us? Where you at, man? I gotta catch. I gotta catch a flight to Manila. Barbie. That's amazing. They came out with a movie. Barbie's been around for a long time. I googled how many Barbie dolls were sold in the world since its inception. Billions. Everybody knows what a Barbie is. You got Barbie doll in the Philippines. Uh-oh. Where did my thing go that was right here?
I put it
Where'd you hide
at
it?
the bottom.
All right. Isla's got to grab something for me. Stick one in this thing. Got to get my right frame of mind going here. Woo! So, Ron McDon, what's new, man? What's new, brother? Got my
What's
first super
new?
sticker tonight.
Yeah, thank you,
E-Dread. E-Dread hooked us up from Motor City, Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit?
Hell yeah.
Where is that?
I'll show it to you on the map
That is part of
after
United
the
States,
live stream.
or
Yeah, of course it is. It's one of the famous parts of the United States. Where the vehicles. There's a lot of stuff going on in Detroit.
where the
Detroit City.
yeah,
Detroit City Motor Works.
like a cars.
Yeah. Assembly plants, humongous. All right, the next one is, click the next one here. I got that. Road to the Philippines. Let me see if I can read this. I was
Look at the
stationed.
TV.
I was stationed. Good thing you can't see me from.
Where are we now? Here. I was stationed in Kings Bay, Georgia, on a submarine center.
Wow, that's cool. Submarine tender. That's like a repair ship that follows the submarines
Repair?
around. They got a lot of MRs, MMs, machinist mates, machinery repairman. Anybody that's going to work on a submarine and a tender, resupply them out at sea. It's like a mid-sized ship. It's not giant and it's not small. It's kind
It's
of like
back
medium. Headed to
to
the Philippines in this
the,
month.
heading to the Philippines at the end of this month. I'll be there for 30 days, then back to the hamster wheel.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City,
My
Missouri.
goodness, Missouri.
Missouri.
The Cheeseheads, Kansas
Southern
City
part of the
Royals.
United States. When are you going to get an echo?
A cat. I don't know. Got one right here. Meow. I got my red liquid.
Ron, I went to church for the first time in 15 years for my boy's baptism. That was interesting.
Wow.
15 years.
He got baptism. He got baptized late.
No.
Huh?
He said that I went to church for the first time in 15 years for my boys.
Yeah, his boy, like his homeboy. Like somebody that's over there in Manila. They got baptized. They're probably like in their 30s. And they got baptized. They never got baptized when they were young. Am I right, Ron? They didn't get baptized when they were young, so they got. I brought you to Isla. Did you?
I thought he said that after 15 years and then he went to
You never know. James
Oh,
Dunn.
Ron.
I went to high school with a James Dunn. You know that? And I think he's into computers. Maybe James Dunn did bring me to you. Brought you to Ottawa.
I brought you too.
You never know. I don't underestimate anybody because you never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're standing next to.
Yeah.
You just never know. Unless you grew up with them and lived with them for a while, then you might know a little bit. My bad. It was his daughter.
His daughter,
Huh.
7 months. So
Oh, okay. Your boy's got a daughter and she got baptized. Now I got it. I thought you said so. You haven't been in church in 15 years. I'm surprised the walls didn't fucking fall down. You smell smoke. I'd be like, Ron, man, I smell smoke. You all right, man? I think this place is burning. Maybe there's a fire in the walls or something. Be like, Bobby, shut up, man. You're talking too loud. The preacher's up there giving a sermon. Sometimes you just gotta cut loose. Cryptic. JD said I brought you to her. Oh shit.
Gary said, as
Ah. Now you gotta come visit me, Gary.
Satan has arrived.
Might be at the end of this month. It might be at the end of this month. Maybe my dad will help me out. I don't know. I gotta, Dad, if you're watching this, I just spilled the beans. I gotta hit you up for like a little bit of cash. Damn. That freaking stock market. They had me convinced I was going to federal prison. And you can't sell now. You're gonna pay 80% in taxes. Oh my God. You don't sell stocks like that. I was listening to the wrong people. Man, when you're up like 3,000%, sell everything. Come on, man. I don't know why I was listening. One of my relatives, I'm not saying who it was. Who is that?
What is this? Oh.
Good God. Why are you looking at that right now?
Chris, oh, share this.
Sunburn competition in Florida.
Sunburn.
I was looking at the weirdest stuff on Facebook. It's disgusting. There's this old dude and he's red. He looks like the heat miser. He's like bright red and he's got wrinkles all over his body. Guarantee he's going to die of skin cancer. It's disgusting. Show him them pictures. Hold that up to the. Look at that. That dude's all wrinkled up. Come on, man. Sunburn competition. Are you fucking serious?
Look at this boo.
You guys ever see that thing on YouTube where they slap each other? They stand at like an arm wrestling table. It's about that wide across, and you could wear like earplugs, and you stand like straight up. You stand at attention, and the guy on the other side of the table winds up and just slaps the shit out of you, and then it's your turn. It's like a slap competition. That it doesn't make no sense to me. Why would you let somebody blast you like that? I don't know. I watched this guy the other day. He sounded like DMX. He got slapped, and then he started talking like he was a dog. He was like, you know who I am. The next thing you know, he slapped this dude. He like stepped into it, so they disqualified him. I was like, damn. Somebody slaps me that hard, I'm coming across the table. I'm going under the table. Something's getting ready to really bad happen.
Ron said, I told Char.
I'm like, I told Char. Oh, yep. I believe it. I believe it. Charlotte, he's telling you the truth.
Jesse, that's going to be interesting to watch. I've seen other channels where Americans move there and live in nice apartments like yours, but have never seen one of an American living out in the province.
Yep. Jesse, it's going to be crazy. The power goes out 3 times a week, and I'm soft as cotton now from the air conditioner. I got this thing down around 60 degrees, 24/7. That thing's running. I'm going to step into a hot house with a metal roof, no insulation, cooking in the sun. Got a shower with a garden hose. No television. Internet goes in and out when it rains. It's unstable. Bathroom's not even connected to the house. Oh my God, here we go. Maybe my pops will hook me up and I won't have to do that. I don't know. It's not going to be easy though. It's going to be pretty entertaining. I want to hang out with my
There's no AC, but right now, like we're August, so started from September up to maybe January or February. It's like windy in the
man.
province, and then the wind is so strong because Christmas is coming.
In New Jersey, March is windy.
No, here it started from September.
Wow. September is windy.
Yeah, especially in
Hmm.
the mountain,
Huh.
the wind is so strong. Like,
So you're surrounded by mountains. You're kind of like down in the bowl,
yeah, but
right?
we're down.
Too bad you're not up on the mountain. Then it would be cooler. Higher up
Imagine.
elevation. Click the next one.
And then if it's
Yeah, no AC. Next question.
no AC,
Oh man, I'm gonna be like, man,
you're
I don't
saying that
know.
you're
I'm
going to
already.
use AC in the province, and then so windy there. Oh,
It could be. It could be
it's cold
super
there.
humid and hot and windy. It's like a blow dryer is blowing on you. You can get blasted by the hot air.
Yeah, but it
Sometimes it makes it worse.
but if the house is like made of wood like that, it's cold compared to like concrete.
The house is made of cinder block.
Yeah, that's why it's like humid. It's because of that.
Because of the cinder blocks? So it's humid inside the house?
Sometimes.
Oh man, here we go. It's gonna be like camping. I already know what's coming. I know
JLO
what's coming. I know.
Bobby D.
Yo, JL, what's up? What's
Long
up,
time no.
JL?
Long time no
Ah,
text.
here we go. Another adventure. It does.
I if you were there, you'd have banished me. Let's boy shame.
Mm.
Gary, are you going to be able to get around out in the province?
Well, I have mom and dad there, my mother and father-in-law, and Isla, and they could get me in that electric wheelchair. I got to get some air. I got to buy a pump because that's why I fell that night because the tires are way, way, way underinflated. They hold 45 pounds of pressure, and the tire was going like this. It was going on and off. It was almost rolling right off the rim. And my plan that night was to go to a gas station. But then I started thinking, wait a minute, this wheelchair is kind of unstable. The last thing I want to do is go out onto a busy road on the side of the highway and then like fall into traffic or try to turn and all of a sudden a wheelchair is like got a mind of its own, pushes me out in front of a car. You know what I mean? Gets smashed by a car. It sucks that I fell, but at least I didn't get run over by a car on a busy road. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So I gotta have somebody either put it in neutral and roll it down to a vulcanizing place or a gas station that's got an air pump with the gauge so they don't over. I could kind of tell by pressing on it with my thumb how many pounds per square inch is in the tire. And just I mean, do the finger test and see. I'd rather have a gauge though, so I get it perfect. Because something like that, it's like real temperamental. You lean forward, you start going forward. You lean back, you go back. You push the joystick. The joystick only controls the right and left. When you push it to the left, I'm trying to think. The tire to your immediate left locks up like a tank, and then the outer tire speeds up and starts turning faster. So you go to the left. And then when you push it to the right, the opposite happens. The other tire locks up and then the outer tire spins faster, which makes you turn. It makes you're pivoting. you're pivoting on that tire. So what happened was I was trying to go up the ramp backwards and there was a bunch of kids behind me. So, and I was irritated with Isla because of something that was going on with the family. So I was kind of irritated that night. I had no patience. So I was like trying to go up the ramp backwards, like 2 tries. I was like, forget it. Because I was having trouble because the tires were all spongy. And we were going to go to the beach. So I was like, all right, we go to the beach. It's going to be a good thing. The tires are like flat because the flat tires are good in the sand.
Mhm.
So you don't get stuck in the sand. You got the there's more tread in contact with the sand, but it's like way too much air missing out of the tires under pressure. So I tried to go up the ramp 3 times, couldn't, was having trouble, got frustrated, went out into the street, and the curb, when it comes down, we're at 90 degrees, it was going down on like a 33 or 35-degree angle. So that piece of concrete that's like 18 inches wide before you hit the road surface was on an angle right into the curb. So when it rains, the water runs off the road surface and then drops down into the curb. And it's got that. So when I hit that spot on the concrete, it just pulled the wheelchair, like the tire just went with it. And I'm pushing the joystick all the way to the left and it's not going. And I literally rode right up the curb and it spun me 180 degrees. I was like a ballerina. Went up on the right tire and just because when I fell, I was facing the opposite direction and I had the beer bottle in my left hand and I'm steering the wheelchair with my right forearm and I had the camera in my right forearm. So first thing I did was I threw the beer bottle over my head to get it away from my body. And then I pulled the camera in close so it wouldn't break and just tightened up when I started going over. And bam, my left foot came out of the chair. Everybody was trying to pick me up. I said, no, wait for some guys to get here because it was a bunch of women ran over there. Not that women aren't strong, but I just wanted to make sure that they got me up the first time. And they had to put my foot back in that in my homemade. I got a pair of slippers that I put on the footrest. I strap my feet in there so my feet don't pop off the platform. That's another thing I got to do. I got to extend the platform and make it better for my feet because my feet kind of hang off the platform a little bit. That's kind of dangerous too. That's a lot of times I got to go up the ramp backwards so my toes don't drag on the ground. That wheelchair is pretty cool. The lady didn't want to sell it to me because a couple people almost died on that wheelchair. One person leaned forward. I don't know if they were drinking or something or they got dizzy. They leaned forward, and the lady said it put them into the apartment next door. That's how fast that thing is a lot faster than people realize. And when you lean forward, it'll put you right through the wall. Nixie and Isla tried riding it around. Regular people try riding that thing, they can't even do it. So the lady's like, sir, I don't want to sell you this wheelchair. She's like, what'd you do for a living? I said, I was an iron worker. I specialized on bridges. I was working on all the bridges that connect New Jersey to New York City. I was picked for that. Outer Bridge Crossing, Goethals Bridge, Verrazano Bridge, George Washington Bridge, all those bridges. What was the other one? Oh, I can't think. There's so many of them. Anyway, so that was the thing. I was working on the bridges, and the lady found out I was an iron worker. And she's like, how's your balance? I said, pretty good. So she sold me the chair. That was my fault. Me crashing like that. I know better than to take something out with only maybe 15 pounds of pressure. So you would think, well, how does that wheelchair only have 15 pounds of pressure in the tires? That's impossible. The tires would just roll right off the rim. They have inner tubes inside those tires. There's an inner tube in there. That's why it's able to get that, the tires are able to get that mushy and be like wobbling all underneath the. It's all right if you're on a flat surface, but if you go on an angle, the tires just like roll. Like if you're leaning to the left, the tires are just going to roll up to the right and the whole chair is just going to go whatever way the road is leaning, that's the way the chair is going to go. And then you have to overcompensate with the joystick. It just, I went right up the curb and all kind of. I wish I would have caught that on video, because if you guys would have saw that, the way I spun around and everything, it would have looked really bad. I meant say I'm interested in what Mr. Dunn has to say for himself.
I predict you will last a week.
Ah,
Before you are moving back.
damn, Jess, a week. Come on now, yo, hard as nails here. Come on now, a week.
James, I meant to say your accident brought you to Isla.
You know what? You're right. You're exactly right.
Gary,
I'm telling you, God works in mysterious ways. And that's what I was thinking about when I used to meditate. There was a guy talking about the guy that meditated and he broke his back and they said he'll never walk again. I went to a class called Transcendental Meditation. My grandfather was like high up in the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, or Internal Ripoff Service, like they say. They paid for all their agents, or IRS agents. He was in the gunslinging days when they would show up with guns and shit and confiscate your business, your house, your boats, your cars, back like in the 70s and shit. It's part of the 60s and the 80s. And he had like a team of people. He used to go to work with a 42 Ruger Red Hawk Magnum 6-shooter with the 8.5-inch barrel, stainless steel, with the rosewood grip and a big rubber thing on the back, because that gun had a lot of kick and flames used to shoot out of the barrel. It was like a Dirty Harry gun. And I used to wonder why, we used to call him Jim, why Jim would come home, Westfield, New Jersey. He would go right in the bedroom and he would close the door and then he would come out of the bedroom. I'm like, why does he go in the bedroom? He don't really like hug anybody or say anything to anybody. He goes right to the bedroom. So one day he left the door open. I was being a nosy little kid and I'm looking through the door, you know, where the hinge side is, the crack. You got the door threshold, the hinge, and then the door. There's got like about 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches of a gap in there. I see him take off his jacket and he's got a shoulder holster on, a big ass gun. I'm looking, my eyes are like this big. I said, "Oh shit." So then when he went in the kitchen, I snuck in the bedroom and he was all the way in the far end of the closet. I opened the door and I pushed the clothes back and there's a shoulder holster hanging on a hanger. I said, a wooden hanger. I said, "Oh shit," with that big ass gun. And then everybody in that town was like, "What does your grandfather do for a living?" Couple people thought he was a spy for the United States government. I said, "I don't know. They won't tell me what he does." And they're like, "He gets a nice car like every 2 years or every 3 years. He turns his car. He buys another brand new car." I said, "I don't know what he does, but he worked for the IRS." Why was I telling everybody that? What's the purpose of that? Man, my story is all over the place tonight. I forgot why I was saying that.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, the Transcendental Meditation class. He said, "You're going to this class with me." And I'm like, "What? A trans TMD class? What's that?" And the guy was up there with the chalkboard and he's like, they had a book we had to read, we had to study and everything. Then we had like every couple chapters, we had like a quiz or a test on it. So back in my bodybuilding days, I used to do visualization, clear your mind, see yourself succeeding before you actually do something or before you get to a certain point. If you hit plateaus, you got to start visualizing more and you got to meditate, got to clear your mind. The body can only do what the mind lets it do. So a high level of concentration is good to have. So that's how I wound up in that class, because of my grandfather. And meditating. So I was meditating about God. It was like my darkest hour. I'm in a nursing home for years already. People are dropping like flies. They're understaffed. the place smells like, I don't even want to tell you what it smelled like. You already know. It smelled like death. It just stunk.
Ooh.
It was bad. I really liked the people working there. I felt bad for them because they were so understaffed. Like one time they had one CNA, certified nurse's assistant, taking care of 42 people on the second floor. And you got to change diapers, you got to give sponge baths, you got to get people into wheelchairs, you got to feed people. Oh, how are you going to take care of 42 people? It was a horrible place, man. I was in there for years. All these people died unnecessarily. I watched all kinds of people die that didn't need to die. Don't ever want to see my mother or father in a place like that. Isla's going to help me with mom and dad when they get older so they could stay in their own house. Um, there's programs where this one over here can make like 25 bucks an hour taking care of my mother, father, and myself. I only need a little bit of help, one meal a day, and help getting in and out of the shower. That's about it. And then getting in and out of a wheelchair. Once I got my sliding board, I don't even need help getting in the wheelchair.
Why is
That's
that?
the way the roads are curved down to the gutter. Yeah, exactly, Gary. And when I hit that dip, boy, that wheelchair just went right up the curb and I spun around like a ballerina and then fell over like a ton of bricks and just wham. So I kind of like tossed the bottle over my head as I was going down. I was like, man overboard. Shoop. I just went like this, threw the bottle, and then I was holding the camera like this to my chest. And Isla was like, why was the camera zoomed in? I said, I don't know. It must have hit my fingers. Were touching it. I had it on the what do you call it? Not the selfie stick, the tripod. It's
Tripod.
an extendable tripod selfie stick type whatever. Camera holder. I'm talking too much.
James, the amount of rice and beans they eat there, you'll be getting plenty of air.
Yeah, right? Just don't light a match. Just don't light a match.
Boo, why is
It's
this
rice and
boo?
beans, that's Mexico.
Boo. Maybe it's because you're talking about how you felt like that.
Yeah.
It says here no restriction.
Uh-oh, that's because I cursed. I said the F bomb a couple times. I
This
said,
life on this life?
yeah. Yeah. You don't need, she don't even
Oh.
realize that New Jersey, New York mouth,
New GC.
everything is F
No,
this,
it's
F
because
that.
maybe you're talking about when you fell and then
I don't
injury
know. For mature audiences only.
only.
Some people say cursing's low class. I don't know. It's just a bad habit. Working around a bunch of construction projects and some hardcore people as friends in the past. I don't know. I know when I hear people cursing like that, it turns me off. Like my one friend, he says F like every other word, and I'm like, damn, bro. And then I
Before,
start doing it back to him, and he don't even notice it.
before,
Put
bro,
those
I don't
comments.
want to curse, but
You're you always
it's
say
like
oh shit. That's
not
your
because
oh
you
shit.
influence me.
What?
No, because I don't know if you're going to speak like English.
If you're gonna be living in New
No,
York and New Jersey, you gotta curse a little
what I
bit.
mean is
Come
like
on now.
it's like I don't know the
Bobby's Angels.
maybe it's because like it's English. That's why it's like the same when you're speaking Bisaya. That if you're going to like curse like
Oh,
that,
the curse words are in English, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I feel like it's not that bad.
Hmm.
But if you're talking like Bisaya, it's like
You say,
I don't
oh
know.
fuck. Instead of fuck, it's oh fuck. Like puck, the P. Oh fuck. I used to have this guy on the job when I worked for Banco Hawaii, Banco Corp. You'd say, oh fuck, Bobby. And I'd say it again. And I'd just be dying laughing the way he would say the word fuck. Sounded like puck. Dying laughing. Rodney. That dude was so good on a pool table. And then I was like, how did you get that good in pool? You should be a professional pool player. What are you doing as a light off engineer for Bank of Hawaii? I said, you're crazy. We used to go to Hotel Street and take everybody's money. at lunchtime, we'd be down there for like 4 or 5 hours. Fitzgerald was the boss. His last name, Patrick Fitzgerald. He didn't care. He knew where we were. We had the voice pager and then the walkie talkies back in the day. Then they put me on night shift, and my girlfriend, Kalena, she got a job at the croissant tree at a bar. So I used to go to the bar while I was at work, and I would just wait for somebody to call me on the radio. And I remember one night I got all lit up. We're doing that train dance where everybody gets like a train, somebody's leading us. We go all through the bar, wandering around. I had this girl by the hips in front of me. She had a really nice tuchus. And I remember like looking down at her ass and thinking, I am so drunk. I hope nothing happens. And all of a sudden the radio went off. And I'm like, wait, I got to go outside. And I got out of the line. Everybody was dancing. And I'm like, come back on that. And they said, there's a flood on the 14th floor. And I remember the water was pouring down the elevator shaft. This guy was high on Shabu. And there was a toilet that was constantly running on the 14th floor. He tried to turn that screw in with that big straight screwdriver. And instead of turning it to the right, he turned it to the left. And that screw blew out, and a stream of high pressure water started gushing out. It flooded the bathroom. It came all the way down the hall. He freaking panicked. He went in the basement. He was trying to shut the pump off that supplied that tower, and he was turning the wrong things off, and the water was pouring down. And it was wool carpet. There was all lawyers on that floor. And it just destroyed, like, it just devastated the whole floor. There was like 3 inches of water up there on the 14th floor. It was pouring down an elevator shaft. And I showed up. I'm on a JC80 computer trying to shut these air handlers and the lights off with Johnson controls, trying to type in commands, and the screen was all like, when you're really drunk. And all of a sudden, I had ate spaghetti. It just shot out of my mouth. I was having dry heaves while I was typing. And I'm like, I got to get this stuff buttoned up. Also, it just blew out all over the keyboard. And then I remember John, that was his name, not Patrick. John Fitzgerald said, who ate spaghetti for dinner? Because it was all over the keyboard and it smelled like alcohol and vomit in there. And I was like, oh my God. And that guy, Dwayne, he was the one that was high on Shabu that screwed that thing the wrong way and the plug blew out and the water was gushing out everywhere. So, oh my God. What a night. I was like, dude, they shit canned his ass. Negros Oriental Santa. What's up, JB? Santa Catalina. Santa Catalina and Negros Oriental. Oh my God. You guys hear about Travis, the senator? He shot the governor dead. It's like 11 people showed up in military. That's Isla's Island. These people that are getting fucking gunned down. I'll fit right in. How they didn't have no escape plan. They murdered this dude in broad daylight. Where are you going? They didn't have no like, all right, we're gonna get in a helicopter and we're gonna like get as far away from the crime scene as possible. They were caught like in the next island. Like they didn't even have a plan.
Ron is asking.
How could you shoot somebody in broad daylight, like 11 people, and the people that tried to get up and protect that governor, they were gunned down too. They shot everybody. And then they didn't have no plan. No plan whatsoever. Now, Travis was in the United States when all this shit hit the fan.
No,
and now
I think he's not in the US.
But he was for a while, remember?
Yeah, he went there for like his health.
For all we know, that hit originated in the United States because our government is in the politics over here in the Philippines, believe it or not. We're trying to control it from a distance. There's a lot of think about it. Our people were on the pesos, the money in the past. The military was huge over here. Just like Hawaii, I lived in Hawaii for 9 years. The military has a lot of pull over the judges, the judicial system. You get in trouble, the military could step in Hawaii and everything just goes away. They just wipe your slate clean and be like, don't do it again, or don't ever get caught up like that again, or whatever happens. So, same thing in the Philippines. For all we know, that hit was ordered from somebody in the United States. That was crazy the way they did it, though. That poor governor, his bodyguard detail called in sick. I don't know, it was like two bodyguards that day, and they didn't show up for work. So they were in on the plan. And that's in Isla's neck of the woods. They fired like the whole police department. They just put them on leave of absence with no pay, or maybe they were getting paid. I don't know about that part of it. And then next thing you know, they just fired everybody. Boom. Because how did the governor's police detail not show up for work that day? They were in on it. And they were gunning, man. They had AR-15s, M16s. They just came in there and just boom, boom, boom. And when you watch the news in the Philippines, they show, like, remember that girl they found in the park and her face was a skeleton? They showed the skeleton. Her face, part of her face was all peeled off, and they showed
Here?
it in the newspaper and online. Yeah. See, in the United States, they blur that out. So
Well,
they
sometimes
showed
they
this
blur.
they showed this execution on television. They were showing it over and over again. It was basically a hit. These armed dudes just walked in there and just started shooting, man. They didn't even hesitate. And I told Isla, as soon as I saw that, I said, these guys are ex-military people. She's like, how do you know? I said, the way they went in there and the way they were standing and the way they were shooting, they didn't even hesitate, man. They had a job to do. Boom, they went in there and just eliminated the target and turned around and just calmly walked out. They weren't running or nothing. I was like, wow. So that's where we're going. I'm gonna have a big ass handgun. I'll be like, come in here. I got a sawed off shotgun with two big ass slugs in it. If the first barrel don't get you, the second one will. I guarantee it. Put another comment up there, please.
Yeah.
Where are you
Ron?
guys coming to Manila?
Ron is asking.
Money situation, bro. I don't know. The sooner the better. That's another thing. Calling all cars, calling all cars. Charlie Drain, I need your help. Look at your beautiful daughter-in-law that'll take care of you. You need to do an intervention and step in and help
Yeah.
the good man out. Oh, the internet signal. I'm already looking into Starlink. The antenna, the package is like, I think the cheapest I saw the package was about 550 US dollars for the Starlink basic residential package. You got the dish, the modem, and the wire and everything, the mounting brackets. And then you just got to download the app on your phone and or your computer. And the upload and download speeds are pretty good on that Starlink. But it's like let's see. 40, it's like $55 a month. And I think they throttle the speeds. But the internet in this I did a test today. Let me tell you guys what the internet is in this place right here. How many people we got in this chat right now?
9 people.
Oh, thank you for the 9 people here. Excellent. I just like to keep it real and
The reason why.
All right, so listen to this. The download speed in this condominium is 37 megabytes a second download, and the upload speed is slow. It takes us like sometimes a whole day to upload a video to the
11.
internet. 11 uploads 11 megabytes a second. Then I did a second test. came up with 43.7 download and 10.8 upload, even lower.
So the
Upload.
upload is
Upload is lagging like crazy. So the internet here, I don't know. Sometimes when we back up pictures, I got Google One, 2 terabytes, and then I got what's the other one by Microsoft? I got Google One and
iCloud.
yeah, iCloud, not iCloud. Just say a random name. iCloud.
OneDrive.
OneDrive. I got the OneDrive, 2 terabytes, and I got Google Photos, and I got man, it's like 90, 90, 90. I got most of them half price in the beginning, but then they hit you with the full price the next time around. So I got GoPro, unlimited storage, Google One, photos, unlimited or 2 terabytes, and then the one you said,
OneDrive.
OneDrive, 2 terabytes to back up because your phone will run out of storage. So all the videos for YouTube are backed up in the cloud because you don't want to keep all that stuff on your phone, but it's going to cost you. Storage costs money. I remember I asked somebody, what do I invest in if I ever get money? They said computer storage, like those big buildings that have like massive servers in them. It's basically Amazon AWS systems, is what he was trying to tell me to invest in. Amazon's got like a monopoly on that part of it. Ray Ray's doing better. She called us up the other night. She was kind of worried, and she's got stitches in the roof of her mouth. She's not supposed to be eating solid food, and guess what was stuck all in the stitches? She had rice stuck all on the roof of her mouth, and she couldn't. It was like, you know, the stitch is like a loop. All this rice was like crammed up. I was like wedged in there, and I'm like, oh God. So she probably, I don't know how she got rid of that rice. Maybe she took a soft toothbrush. I kept telling her, you got to gargle with salt water 3 times a day, iodized salt water. Like make like tea, heat the water up, put 3 or 2 heaping teaspoons of salt in some water, mix it up so it's all diluted, and gargle with that 2 to 3 times a day to keep the bacteria level down in your mouth so it doesn't get infected. She's doing all right. A lot of people were having bleeding problems and they went back to the hospital. Thank God Raimi wasn't one of them. She didn't have to go back.
Yeah, they were like
Next question.
the surgery
Raimi's
is
doing all right.
infected,
Ron.
maybe
Yeah, and infections too. Thank God Raimi didn't get an infection.
how's the speech?
Wow. I knew somebody was going to ask me this question. All right. I always just tell it like it is. All right, Raimi, if you're watching, I'm sorry I said this. Raimi sounds the same. And I'm like, Isla, is it just me or does she sound exactly the same? Man, so I don't know what's up with that. Isla was like, maybe she has to practice, or
Yeah, she need to.
maybe when it heals up completely, her voice will change. But to me, her voice sounded exactly the same. And I don't want to say that because it's going to upset Raimi. I just said it. Okay. I'm sure she figured that out because she knows what her voice sounds like. So I'm just telling it like it is. And if anybody hears her, they're going to be like, yo, didn't she have surgery to change the sound of her voice? And it sounds exactly the same. I didn't want to intervene and tell her, look, you're too old for that. That's like a young person's thing when their head is small and their body's growing, and you're too old to be having them rearrange and everything in your nasal passages and all that. So I just stayed out of it. I'm like, that's what she wants to do. I was praying to God that nothing bad happened. You know what I mean? Because when they put you under anesthesia, you might not wake up, man. Something bad can happen. Your heart can stop. Anything can happen. So she looked terrible. After she got out of surgery, she looked freaking exhausted. Then I thought she was mad at here. She was staying here in the beginning. She said she was bored. That's why she went home. I was laughing when I found that out. It's kind of boring over here. I'm a boring guy. See what happens. I'm all calm and shit. Usually it's like, yo, let's go to the club. There's a nightclub like right there, and the music is just pumping. All kinds of women in there. Yo,
Honestly, Ron said,
saddle up.
honestly, I think she sounds cute. I saw nothing wrong.
Yeah, like that's another thing. I think her voice is kind of cute. I think it's kind of cute, man. How many people in the chat?
7.
7 people in the chat. Bust out with the questions. Shar
Try.
said, when it
Okay.
heals, it sounds clearer. And oh,
When
okay.
she heals, it will sound clearer.
All
No
right.
need practice.
I hope so. Because that's an awful lot to go through. I looked at the roof of her mouth. They cut her from about where you're all the way at the back of your mouth, where it starts to curve before it starts going down your pipe. They cut her from there all the way to within a quarter inch of her top teeth. So that's an incision about that long. They just cut it from the back all the way to front. So they were up there working in her sinus passages. That's the thing. Isla said when she pinches her nose closed, she sounds normal. So her voice is like, it's coming out through her nose. Like, if I talk like this, that's what it sounds like. So, but Raimi's the opposite. When she does this, her voice sounds normal. When I do that, my voice sounds different. That is kind of cute. I was going to say something else.
Humphrey Neil.
What's
I'm
up,
late
Humphrey
to this
Neil?
party. If you had any surgery, rest. It's
That's Raimi, our Isla's sister, older sister, had surgery.
yeah.
You know, I've been on rest for the last 3 days when the catheter stopped working, and I had drank a bottle and a half of water, and man, my kidneys and my bladder were killing me. I was in major pain. I slept for like 3 days. I just hope I didn't damage my kidneys or my bladder. Imagine folding your schwaz, your dingling in half, and then drinking a boatload of water. What's going to happen? I started throwing up because the water couldn't come out. I couldn't pee it out. It wasn't coming out. So if it can't come out that way, you're going to throw it back up. I started throwing up, and then I was running a fever for like 2 days, and I started letting the water out of that catheter, that balloon that's inside your bladder, and that tube and everything just shot out. Urine just sprayed out. It looked like something out of a porno flick. X-rated movie. My goodness. TMI 7 in the chat. Thank you for the lucky 7 that are in here.
Dane said I'm still here. I never left. I'm just
Humphrey
waiting.
Neal, where are you from?
And Bobby is long-winded. England.
England?
He said England is not so sunny overcast today.
Wow. England. That's a cool place, man. England. Peaky Blinders is my favorite on Netflix. I love that show, Peaky Blinders. And I think that same actor played in the new movie about the nuclear bomb. What's the name of that movie about the Ron? What's the name of the movie about the nuclear weapon? Oppenheimer. That's it. Oppenheimer. He's the scientist that helped develop the nuclear bomb at Los Alamos. Fat Boy and Little Man, I think was the name. Was it Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Yo, why do you have stuff that can just eliminate everybody on the face of the planet? That's beat, man. Them Trident submarines I used to work on, they got like 12 doors, 6 on each side that open up, and they could be right off your coast and just turn your whole world into glass, basically. Melt everything. Trying to use a wet vac and suck that pee out. That's an idea, bro.
What is this one? Nottingham?
Nottingham, England.
Nothing.
Yeah. Wow. That's the place to be right there, Nottingham. Wow. There's a
Nottingham.
lot of castles. Is there a lot of castles and like old buildings around there? That's like a historic section, Nottingham. Wow. English accents are cool. The girls that talk with the English accent. That chick that was on Michael.
Peaky
Remember that
Blinder.
black girl I was talking to?
Yeah.
She was a light skinned black girl. She was from England. And she was on Michael Ponte's show.
Mm.
And she had a crush on Ponte. She was all drunk. She was hitting on him. And then this girl says she had a boyfriend. Then a boyfriend showed up on the channel. Like, what are you doing? Talking to him? I'm like, oh, damn, I got to go. Left Mike hanging. That was over. I think they broke up that night.
This is
Yeah.
Charlotte.
I want to watch Peaky. Bro, watch Ron McDon. Watch that show. When I was all juiced up on those pain meds, I had saved up a bunch of them. I was cheeking them, so I had some extra ones, right? Because sometimes you get tired of taking that high dose every day. So I ate a bunch of pain meds. I stayed awake for 3 days, and I watched hours. And as that was the first time in my life I binged watched. I think it starts out at one, series one. I went all the way to four, and then the fifth episodes came out. I watched them. I think they're on number six. And the Jewish dude in there, that dude's a trip, man. The Jewish guy, I like the Jewish guy, and they got the Italians in there and everything, but the Irish mob is something serious, big time.
Physics is okay, but
Quantum physics. It's bad news, man. When you cause that reaction and people are just the radiation, the radiation sickness where your skin's peeling off and you just got that knot in your stomach, and that's a bad way to die. You're vomiting and you got diarrhea real bad and you got so many rems of radiation in your body. It's in your bones and there's no way to get it out. You're just going to slowly die a miserable death. How about that movie Das Boat? Das Boat, where they had that nuclear reactor on the boat and they had to have volunteers to go in there and they were trying to fix a leaky pipe that was the cooling system for the reactor was overheating. That movie was, if you never saw that movie Das Boat, it's like a foreign film, but it was really good. It was pretty hectic, that movie. I could see that happening.
the download speed to your Spectrum router, you're receiving 116 degrees percent of your 500 Mbps. Download plan speed 578 Mbps. You're receiving 115% of your 20 Mbps upload plan speed.
Hmm. Download speed to your Spectrum. I wish I had a Spectrum router. Yo, they got some router over here that's like, it's telling me on my iPhone that the security, the I forget what it is no good. And to change it, this router is older than dirt. I got a VPN that I really don't use. It's what's the name of our VPN?
VPN.
Express VPN. And I wanted to put the Express VPN on our router to protect every device that's pulling internet off that router. And I don't know. I just kind of thinking there's no hackers in the building. But a hacker doesn't have to be in the building. All they got to do is send you a link. Like when a lot of people send me links or videos, I don't watch them. I just look at the address and I look it up myself because a lot of times hackers are smart. They embed things in pictures. All you got to do is click on a picture and you're done. They'll be looking at everything you're looking at on your phone. My best friend I grew up with is a master hacker. I mean, the FBI hires this guy to go after people and the CIA hires him as a subcontractor, and he's got a high level security clearance. He told me a story. He was pissed off. He went to a job interview in New York City. It was for some security company. And the guy was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And my buddy was like, because it's above your level of comprehension. And that kind of pissed the guy off. So the guy's like, well, we don't need people like you here. So my buddy went home and started pinging all the routers. And I don't know what he did, but he shut the whole building down. And that guy was calling him saying, how did you do that? I just spent like $15 million on all our new security stuff we put in the building to stop that from happening. How did you do that? And he said, when you apologize, I'll turn your computers back on. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, can't they go after you? He says, no, he was routing his. It looked like it was an attack from a different country. The way, you know how hackers work. They don't come at you directly. They just go like a roundabout. They come the Okies from Muskogee. They come out of left field, and you're like, damn. Or they're hitting you from like India or Russia. They got my mom. I'm telling my mom, what did she say? We got Windows security. It was $90 for 2 years. I'm like, Mom, that's you're. I said that's a scam. You don't have McAfee. That's who it was. It was McAfee. Well, don't you have McAfee protection on your cell phones and computer? I said, Mom, that's somebody out of India. They locked her computer up, threatened her if they didn't send money that they were gonna wipe her hard drive clean and steal all her files off the computer. So her husband like caved in and sent him money, like not thinking. Like I'm nuts. Anyway, I'm not that computer savvy. They see everything he does on a computer anyway.
Richard said maybe you should stay close to good medical care if possible.
Yeah, Rich, you're right about that. Richard Lee Rogers. That's a cool name. That's Southern Way.
Humphrey Warwick is complete. Nottingham is old.
RLR. Richard Lee
But
Rogers.
just
That's a cool name.
gatehouse, the 18th century visible is now the understated font.
It's
Tunnels are cool.
just Nottingham is old. We're just gatehouses. 18th century visible is Lucifer.
Thomas should do James Bond.
12 milliliter.
Hiroshima.
Yeah, it was civilians,
Nagasaki.
man. They nuked a bunch of
Like to
civilians.
drink water.
That's how you make somebody quit, though. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm gonna give you an example. You do something to me, I just kill your whole family and leave you alone, so you get to walk around and think about it. I remember there's people in Mexico. I'm like, are you gonna kill that guy? They said, no, we're gonna kill his whole family. I'm like, damn, they machine gunned a grandmother and a baby. And they made the guy watch. I was like, holy shit, these guys are fucking too much. And they were torturing that guy. They were torturing him for like days, and they were holding his head up because he was like ready to pass out from the beatings they were giving him. This was back in the 80s. I have no affiliation, people like that anymore, but I seen what happened. I was like, damn, that's when I was living in Mexico. I was in some bad places. I used to live in Tijuana. I had a girl over there. She was crazy.
Dang. When my dad died, I watched all his favorite movies. When my mom died, I watched all her favorite movies, and every year I watch enlarged binge watching
watching.
their favorite movies, not for the reason of paying respect.
I remember when Dane's mom passed away. It wasn't that long.
Yeah, that's Root was great.
Yeah.
The whole had you on the edge of your seat. So
Definitely. That was a good movie. That had me emotional. When a movie gets you emotional, you know it's good.
but remember the days past that never come back. The original dashboard was in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Routers were hacked by
Mm-hmm.
Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese hackers are no joke too.
The best hackers will find others near people who talk to you, so timing does not work.
Yeah, they find a roundabout way to get in.
No, Bobby, a hacker does not need to send a link. They don't need to send pic. They just need to send chat no more. When what we are doing now.
Yep. It's crazy. Once you accept all them apps on the phone, they control the microphone, they could change things on your phone. They could look at your pictures, your files, all kinds of stuff. If you read the fine print on a lot of those apps, it's nuts what they can do if they wanted to.
People are misleading others to believe what they wish them to believe.
That's like what's his name? Who was the guy? McAfee, John McAfee. He died. Oh, they say he died. I don't believe he's dead. His body was in a Spain prison, I think, but I think he's alive and well somewhere else. I don't think he's dead. He's too smart to be dead.
Well,
John McAfee, he'll tell you all that security stuff is bullshit. If you're a good hacker, you bypass that like it's not even there. You're just
truth
wasting your money.
is, all governments have access to anything you are doing online,
Exactly.
from web searcher to what you do in
Everything.
camp.
Anywhere's you been,
Mhm.
boom.
What do you think about Tulu?
Google Tulum. Tulum. What's the next question? Tulum. Trillium, the electric vehicle truck. Tulum. Hold on a minute.
Town on the Caribbean
Oh,
coastline of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula.
hold on a minute. Yucatan Peninsula. Mayan Port City. I don't know anything about it. Don't know anything about it. Tulum. Tulum. It looks nice. Mexico. I don't know. I would move to Mexico in a second if that's what you're talking about. Means wall is what the name of that word means.
Mhm.
Yo, I would move to Mexico in a second. Food is excellent. Food in the Philippines is not really that great. Filipinos are Mexicans, basically. You got to remember the Spanish were here for so long. This one's got Spanish blood. A lot of times you'll see Filipinos, they don't have the jeepney nose. I didn't get that. Isla came, she told me that term, jeepney nose. What's a jeepney nose? Hmm?
Jeepney
Jeepney
news, my
nose.
news. Oh no.
So some Filipinos look Spanish. They don't have that wide bridge nose.
It's because of
I
the
love that nose.
open gut folks talking about nuclear
Yeah.
weapons world. JV, are you a permanent Philippines expat or are you just living in different countries? What is your goal destination?
Goal is to be happy in life. Destination is to get Isla back to the United States. Maybe bring her younger sister Nixie to the United States and get Isla a green card so when I die, she could be working in the United States. There's not a lot of jobs in the Philippines. There's not a lot of opportunities. So if I can get Isla over to the United States, get her a visa, get her a green card, and then I would like to live, if money was no object, live in the Philippines 9 months of the year, 8 months of the year. Live in the Philippines 8 months of the year and 4 months of the year in the United States. That would be perfect. Man, that would be great.
Hmm.
I wouldn't get tired of that plane flight. You know what? I'd be so excited to get on that plane and get out of the United States for a while. United States is all right. Everybody's like, oh, it is, I don't know, the political situation that's going on. And then I guess there's a lot of people stealing shit. It's always something. The United States is just going through a period where I don't know, it's kind of falling apart a little bit, but that's my home team. I got nothing bad to say about the United States. It's the China. We got to watch out with China because you look at those cities. Ron will tell you. Ron lived there. How long you lived there, Ron? 7 or 9 years you lived in China. They're taking us to school. Data diode is the one-way internet. Spain is a good place to disappear.
Sort of Cancun.
Data diode. I heard of that. That's that little box that one guy was talking about. South of Cancun. I'm going to say I would live there in a minute. Absolutely, I'd live there. Some people were saying you got to watch out for the cartels over there. Whatever, you get a couple
Cartels.
friends in the cartel.
Ala, ano, huli mong
Get a
pinanood
couple
na
big
movie?
guns, man. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Bullets start flying, shoot back. I'm in that
Boo, what
electric
is the
wheelchair.
last movie that we watched, boo?
Mm, I know we watched so many movies. What was the last
Yeah,
one?
the last one. I think that's like, that is the camera. I can't remember the title on that.
What was it about?
You're sleeping and then you.
What was it about? You watched the whole thing and I fell
Yeah,
asleep.
yeah, I
What was
watched
the
it.
name of that movie?
I can't
It couldn't have been that good.
remember.
I don't even remember. What was it about? Tell me
it's
what it.
it's all about like the girlfriend is cheating, and then like it's all about phone. If they're going to take pictures and the people that disappear like that, I don't know. I can I can't remember the
Yeah, that could have been a
title.
million different movies. I don't know. It was a Netflix movie we were watching. People taking pictures and they're disappearing.
Yeah, they're going to disappear. They will disappear.
Oh, no wonder I fell asleep. It was a horror movie.
It's not horror.
I don't know. Yeah, I was
Maybe
falling
something
asleep.
horror, but I don't know. That's not the horror movie. It's not like scary.
It was like my shirt. They were turning people into
The
skeletons.
skulls.
South of Cancun. That sounds good to me. I'll tell you what. I would move there in a
The
minute.
movie that I want
I would move
for.
to South Cancun in a minute.
What is that movie, boo? The
Planning on
Dean? The
Mexico,
Dean
Spain, and
of
Philly.
Thieves?
Philadelphia? Oh, Philippines. My bad. That would be. He's going to Mexico,
Willy
Spain,
Willy.
and the Philly Willy. Wow,
Regular guy,
that
Chili
sounds like a
Willy.
good route right there. That sounds nice. Hell yeah, all good places to go. Many
Where are
million
the
plus.
cold linens in Spanish?
Yeah,
Speaking of food there, do you like Jollibee there, Bobby? Close it's 2 hours to me here, but I
ooh,
got to eat there yesterday. It's so good. Huh?
2 hours away. Wow, he's out in the sticks. The closest one to me is about 2 minutes. 2 minutes down the road that way. And then there's one the other way. Both ends of the road they got us. They got McDonald's on both ends of the road. Jollibee's is all right. A lot of people like their chicken and rice. Yeah, Jollibee's isn't bad.
Did you check out
I
the
try to
guy?
I try to stay away from so-called junk food.
Did you check out the guy they made walk again?
I'm gonna check them out after the live stream.
Bobby, with your phone sitting in the stand close, they start talking about talking a long vacation, maybe hit a B&B or a long boat ride. How about flying from Philippines to Russia?
Damn, we're going to Russia now?
Jesse, check and enjoy spaghetti with with hot dogs, slices, burger, steak, adobo,
Yeah, the
rice.
burger steak. I had that for the first time the other day. It was good. Burger steak and
You
rice.
like that?
Yeah, I liked it. Now I'm thinking I might send you down to McDonald's. You gotta go pick up the money, all right? We don't have any cash on us.
They we have stickers.
I'm hungry. Shit, what? We got stickers. What do we got?
Stickers
Stickers for
from
what?
Idris.
What?
From Idris.
Huh. Oh, yeah, we got some money. Detroit City sent us some money. Now we could eat. Thank you for the 20. My goodness.
Okay, skip Hurricane. Spain is in blue skies for winter. Malaga is the airport. Like
In the
Florida.
20s, Spain gets cold down, like Florida.
Mhm.
Maybe
6 years in China.
Wow. My buddy Ron spent 6 years in China. Their cities make New York, Chicago, Los Angeles kind of look like a joke, man. The buildings, the amount of people is clean and as modern as their cities are, and the way I don't know. Ron says that Chinese culture is not like that. Look at that big military base that they built on a coral reef off the coast of the Philippines. What is all that for? They think there's an underwater submarine base out there too? I don't know, man. Ron, I think you're wrong. I know you're super smart, but I beg to differ. I think that one day we're going to get into it with China. They're going to try and take back, what is it, Taiwan? And we're going to be like, no, you're not. And then Australia's going to jump in there, and it's just going to escalate. Way all the wars do, it's going to escalate. And then somebody's going to lob a nuclear bomb at somebody. And that's going to be it. It's going to be a fucking mess. It'll be World War III, man.
Dane said
Bunch
Bobby
of idiots in
may not
control.
have nothing bad to say about the US, but with all honesty, there is nothing good to say as well.
It's going through a rough period right now.
James, Bobby, Antarctica now. There's a place worth a visit. All sorts going on there. The only place where all governments are in agreement and are working together.
I bet you there is some stuff going on up there. That we were sending people up there for the HARP project. And I watched a show on the HARP project. They said the HARP project started in like the year 2000. 1984, I was in the military, and I'm down by the submarine that was pulled into port. And there was all these civilians down there. And I'm talking to my buddy that's on that particular submarine. I'm not saying which one it was. And I said, who are all these greenhorns? Who's all these civilians? He said, that's a bunch of scientists. We're taking them, we're going on a trip called ISIX. That was the name. I remember when he came back, he had this wooden plaque and it had a tube full of water from the glacier up there, from the snowpack. And I remember I got pictures of the submarine. It tried to break through the ice at different thicknesses, and they busted up a bunch of control modules on the sail. That's the part on top of the tube of the sub that's got the rudder, or the rudder's in the back, whatever that fin is that they can manipulate, and then you got the periscope on top of that. So anyway, he was gone for almost a year, and I'm like, what were you guys doing up there for so long? They brought all this specialized equipment and they erected antennas up there, and then they went far away to the other side. That's why there's a hole up there in a freaking ozone layer. They're like, oh, it's all the CFC gases in the spray cans. It's causing a hole in the ozone. No, it ain't. Or when they got all these beached whales and dolphins, that's from the freaking ship's radar. It fucks up their heads because that's how they They're pinging on a short level, like a dolphin could let out a burst, and it can stun a fish for a second, and then the dolphin grabs the fish. Ship's radar and submarines radar, when it puts out a big blast of energy, it'll hit like a pod of whales or dolphins, and all of a sudden they're beaching themselves all over the place. So the Navy does some crazy stuff to the sea life animals, dumping contaminated radioactive water at sea, all kinds of shit. They got my dad. He was drinking the water at Camp Lejeune. And they said, "Oh, don't worry, the water's fine." Now he's got health problems because shit got me so fucking 38 hot, man. It's not cool. The way they treat veterans, you know what I mean? Like garbage. All right, where was I at? Oh yeah, the Heart Project. So they go up there, they're gone for almost a year. And I'm like, what are they doing? And this guy was the ELT nuke. So he's running the reactor to submarine. There's only one ELT nuke on that boat, and it was my buddy John. He said, dude, they're doing some crazy stuff. He told me all about it. You set up an antenna here, and like 80 to 100 miles away, you set up some antennas, high powered antennas here. You shoot electricity up into the ionosphere, and anything electrical won't work. Cars, vehicles, anything electrical will not, radios, any kind of electronic equipment, it's not going to work. They were shutting down the ionosphere. And I said, doesn't that let a bunch of harmful radiation come in? Because that protects us from the radiation out in space. He's like, yo, they were doing this shit. They had no idea what they were doing. They're like, oh, let's see what this does. Let's see what this intensity blast will do to the ionosphere. So they're up there experimenting, and I wonder why they got a big ass hole in a freaking ozone layer up there, because we damaged it. That's what happened. The government ain't going to tell you this shit, though. All right, if I disappear in the next couple days, you know what happened. 28 in the mountains. Go back. Go back. I want to read that. Celsius we're dealing with. See, I talk in Fahrenheit, Celsius. So in the mountains, no one can find you at 30 plus minutes from the coast. Spain is huge. Wow. So there's a lot of country out there. My buddy, the hacker that I'm telling you guys about, that was his favorite place to go, Spain. Every year he would go to Spain. I never heard anything bad about Spain. Everybody that goes there likes it. Jollibee is trash. Ron McDon for the win. All right, I'm not going to argue with that, bro. What can I say? I tried to talk shit about Jollibee. I had some Filipinos. I thought they were going to pull up on a motorcycle with it and machine gun me and just drive off. They were like, "What'd you say about Jollibee?" I was like, "Damn, they guys." That's when they found that towel in the deep fryer. It was a freaking big, like, not a full size bath towel, but that's a hand towel. It was blue and it was in the deep fryer, and they served it to somebody with the chicken meal, and they were showing it on the news and internet. Google towel deep fryer Jollibees, and the pictures of it will show up. And Raimi was like crying and shit. She was like upset. It's like a national treasure. Yeah, don't talk shit about Jollibee. They might send somebody to get us. Is that you? Who's that?
I don't know.
Isla and the TikTokers. What's your wife do? TikTok.
Picture. But with
That's one thing about marrying Isla's. She could be my daughter. I'm rocking the cradle big time. My goodness. You can learn a lot from this old motherfucker right here. Oh, now we're gonna get the triple X rating. Set it again. There we go. That's just the way it goes. You know, that dude Jasper, they're attacking him on the internet now. I was talking about grandpa's waiting in the lobby to attack him. Well, he was talking trash about everybody. So you don't know you're talking. There's a lot of older expats with young chicks over here, young girls. So you say the wrong stuff. It only takes one person to ruin your life. Believe me, I had some people tell me that, and they were telling me the truth. So talk all that mess you want on the internet. That's why I don't lie about stuff. I'm not talking about Antone, if you're listening, that story I told you about my dad outrunning the cop in the fast car we had is 100% the truth. He didn't want to get stopped again because he already had one. He already got one DUI. He didn't want to. I think he got a careless driving. That's what they reduced it. But I think that time would have been a DUI. So we hauled ass and outran the cops. That was a long time ago. Now you can't outrun the cops. Your ass is done. They'll put the helicopter up. They get on the radio. All the other towns on the highway in front of you, they're going to come down on the ramps, get on the road. They'll be putting them spike strips out. If you got a Hayabusa motorcycle, maybe you're getting away. We're talking speeds of excess of 150 miles an hour. I mean, flying. One wrong move at that speed and you're done. You're going to be in a million pieces. Next question. But with the help of digital implants in the brain and spine,
Uscom is back on his feet.
wow. Elon Musk and Neuralink, and they got that other company. Ron's into that. There's Ron, what's the name of that neurogen to regenerate? He says the one chemical breaks all the scar tissue down, and then the other one regenerates the nerve tissue. Come on, they got artificial intelligence can run millions of combinations of drugs to figure out how to cure different types of cancer or to rebuild your spinal electrical circuits. They could figure it out. I'm not counting on it though because I don't want to get my hopes up. You know what I mean? You never know though. Anything's possible. Anything is possible for sure. Next question. Stop looking at the phone, will you? Everybody's hypnotized by cell phones. Everybody's staring at a phone. Got a whole world going on around you. How many people are in the stream? 9.
9.
Good number.
What is this for?
Everybody's staring at a phone. I don't know. Press it. What does it say?
Connection unstable.
Our connection's unstable?
Oh, look at that.
What? Uh-oh. Yeah, because you're online. Get off that phone. We don't need that.
This is Google Photos.
Yeah, don't go on Google Photos. The more things that are hooked up to that Wi-Fi.
What was the Wi-Fi?
Uh-oh. Now the internet's not, it looks clear on our computer, but on our television, it's kind of blurry. Still experimental. I'll send some links. Thank you for the links. But maybe held up in chat. Okay. I'm all about experimental stuff for sure. 68 Fahrenheit, 95 in Fahrenheit. Wow. 95 is getting a little bit hot. Taiwan
Will be
hot. Yeah.
I know, but it's because of the Google Photos.
Exactly.
Because the picture started.
Yeah, if you opened it, the photos started to back up. When you start backing up photos, everything goes downhill. The internet. This internet can't handle it.
Can never be a war. Never.
Never say never, man. What's the purpose of all that? They're going to use it someday, you know? People are freaking stupid, man. Look at this pandemic and all this stuff that went down. It's just people in charge, man. Somebody's going to fuck up and do something stupid. That's all it's going to take. And it's over. I do some crazy stuff, but reckon
if those dudes away a year as contractor, very well paid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when you're working for the CIA, the FBI, and you're going after people online, you're getting paid really good. Go back to the ionosphere. Yeah, and then they were all college professors working for the government. I was like, wow, all these guys are college professors? He's like, yeah, like the cream of the crop. ionosphere will bounce. EMC pulse. Yeah, you could skip, like if you're a ham radio operator, you could skip the signal off the ionosphere and talk to somebody on the other side of the globe. Spain is cool and friendly, as was Cancun. Not sure about Mexico City. I was pretty close living in Mexico City. It's super busy and crowded. I remember we went to a bullfight in Mexico City and the bull went nuts and it jumped over this wall. I'm looking at the wall going, dude, is that wall look kind of short to you? And he's like, yeah. And we were drunk. We were drinking these giant margaritas. And all of a sudden, yo, the bull was in a stand and it started wrecking people. It was goring people. I was like, yo, get to the top. We started running up the steps. The steps were all like crooked. I was like falling down. People were like falling on top of me. We're trying to get up into this concrete stadium. And I'm looking at they had a bullfighter out there with the red thing, and he's like putting spears in this bull. He was spearing it. And that thing got pissed off and it jumped over the wall and hooked a couple people. It went into the one guy and then it was mashing him on the ground. And once it got done with him, it looked up and it saw all the people trying to get up in the stands and the thing started coming up the steps. I'll never forget that bullfight in Mexico City. Mexico City was all right. I remember it was super busy. And there was a circle there, this big circle. We were driving around in a circle and I was screaming at my buddy because he was drunk and he was driving crazy. Mexico City. Called an EMP, yeah. Electrical magnetic pulse. And believe it or not, EMP. Over one state will shut down all the cars, yeah, in seconds. No cell phones will work. All that stuff gone. Pew. It's done. It's cooking everything. You got to have a Faraday case to protect your electronics from stuff like that. I'm in Virginia, but every single person in that Jollibee was Filipino except me and my friend. Wow. Holy cow, you're in Virginia? I know they got one in New York City in Times Square. Because I'm like, let me Google it. I knew they had them in California because there's a lot of Filipinos in California because they don't like the cold weather of the East Coast. Virginia is cool. Virginia is for lovers. I like Virginia because they got the mountains, you got the rivers, lakes, and stream. I like the country. It's outdoors. Doesn't really seem like it's a police state yet. You got the moonshiners up in the hills around there. Probably got them guys up there growing some wacky tobacco with the left-handed cigarettes around there. I don't know. I like to move to Virginia. I can picture Isla and myself in Kentucky, in the mountains of Kentucky, or Virginia up in the mountains with nobody around, like on some land. That would be great. I would love to live in Virginia with three big dogs and a bunch of guns and just up there hanging out, making babies. Right?
Wrong.
My God.
54 with 24-32, my preferred age range.
Yeah, you got to over 24. Like, I see guys with like 18-year-old girls and stuff.
24,
A lot
32.
of guys are after Nix, Ms.Nix. And I'm like, yo, she's going to give you a headache, man. Wait till she's like 24. Start a relationship now. Do like I did. Get to know her. Let her grow up a little bit. She's 18. Shit. Yeah, but Filipinos are more mature than women from the United States. That's for sure. At a young age. This one here is like old enough to be my mother.
I'm your mother.
You are. But I was like, Isla said I can't. My boy's like, yo, let's go to the club, sending me text message after text message. Then he's like asking Isla, can you go to the club with me? I was down there like 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, dude, I seen it. I gotta go. Like pussy whip. I was done. There was nobody down there. We went there on New Year's Eve. There was no women in there. If there was some chicks in there, I would have been in there all night. Say something. But anyway, I would have been there all night. Yeah, that's all good. I say that until some young dude comes around all buck strong. Would you say? Oh, your wife is hot. I'd be like, yeah. Click. Like, how hot is she now? Put this in your mouth. I got to one of the videos. I'm gonna take Isla to shooting range, and we're gonna get some heavy duty artillery and start blasting. Where'd you go, Gar? Did you go for a walk? Yeah, I was gonna tell you my money's getting low. Maybe you missed Oppenheimer. Um, people talking about hope for therapy, walking again. People talking about Spain. We're talking about the ionosphere. We're talking about World War III. We're talking about Jollibee ain't shit. It's Mickey D's all the way. Everything. You missed everything. You missed the boat.
Mickey.
How many people got in the chat?
10 people.
Wow, all right. Thank you for the 10 people. 10, one better than nine. Excellent.
Bobby said 9 is a good number, but 69 is a better one.
You got it. This one here. What'd you say? We're moving. What's that short clip?
We
You said you're moving. No, you didn't call it
it's not
moving.
moving.
Rearranging?
No.
No.
What do you call that thing?
You said something.
This, I think something like that.
My goodness. Yeah, that's a good number. I know a girl, she was a stripper. She had this big tattoo, just the number 69 tattooed on. I was like, why'd you get that number so big on your back? It looks crazy.
Repositioning.
Oh, we're repositioning the furniture in the hospital. So I got a dirty mind. When Isla said repositioning, I'm thinking like in the bedroom. So I said, what's your favorite reposition? And she's like 69.
I'm just kidding.
My goodness. Mom told me I better not corrupt Isla. It's too late. Yo, this hair gel over here, I think it's wallpaper glue. Put this stuff in my hair, it's like sticky. Everything's sticky. It's like I could put sugar and water and mix it. Sugar water is real sticky, and just dump it in my hair, and it'll be less sticky than my freaking hair.
For 2 hours and 30 minutes live rule.
Damn. Social media in charge.
It's in charge. They know they had a COVID vaccine and kept quiet just to get Trump thrown out.
All that stuff, all that nonsense that happened with the pandemic. It's just all a bunch of government manipulation bullshit. The SARS virus was in New York City 12 years before COVID hit like that. It's gain of function research. The crap gets out, it's more contagious, it kills more people. You got so many old people that are walking on eggshells. Of course, it's going to kill a lot of people. That's just the way nature is. And then you got scientists. Fauci's the one responsible for all the gain of function research. Our government funds it. Any chemical, biological weapons facility, you're going to find viruses, all kinds of crazy stuff. Like Ebola doesn't spread that fast because it kills its victims so rapidly, it doesn't have time to spread. It just kill everybody in that one area, boom, and it's done. It's not going to move around. It doesn't. When it slowly kills people and it can mutate and keep changing, I don't know. 104 is the high today in Mercy,
Cities,
California.
Central Valley, California.
I like California.
EMP is a weapon.
I like California. That was hot. 104 degrees. Damn, it was cooking there today. Got to get to the water when it's that hot. Rivers, lakes, and streams, or a swimming pool.
John Oscom from the Netherlands is the guy's name who was able to walk again using the equipment.
I'm going to look him up. I will look him
Differentiation.
up.
Electromagnetic compatibility
Thank you.
refers to the ability of electrical and electronic equipment to function satisfactorily.
So I belong to a group, spinal cord injury, on Facebook, and some lady was saying about an EMP pulse, and she was worried about her electric wheelchair, and all these people started attacking her, and they were like, "You're lady, you're crazy, you're paranoid. Get out of here with all that stuff." It could happen. You know what it is? Everybody's a nut. Like these preppers that got all this freeze dried food, and they got an underground bunker in the side of a mountain, and they got their own water supply underground and all this stuff. Where these people that buy the old nuclear weapons facility and then build apartments, everybody's crazy until the shit hits the fan, and they only got to be right one time. If I had money, I would be building a bunker underground. It'd be like a man cave.
I'm sorry.
Be like a man cave. Be just down there
Monkey.
with like,
And its electromagnetic environment without introducing intolerable electromagnetic disturbances to anything in that environment.
yeah. How about what's that? The pulse microwave pulse radiation, where we had people in Russia, and they had that long rod with the dish around it, and they could send microwave, I think it's like microwave radiation into the building, and people were getting dizzy spells, they were forgetting things, they were confusion, and having really bad migraine headaches when they were stationed in Russia and a couple other places. They got all kinds of stuff. The government's got, they could zap you with something. People's like, they don't have no ray gun. Yeah, they do. They could cook your noggin from a distance. If you're standing by a window,
Mm.
they could they could send high pitched radiation and like a microwave. Stand in front of somebody's antennas, and they got these different types of antennas that's beaming shit out. It'll cook you from the inside out, and it's got warning labels all over it. So they can design a weapon where they could funnel the radiation at you. So people say to me, Philippines is dangerous. I just laugh. I was in Russia when it was okay on my
Oh,
own behind the lines. Yeah, any place could be dangerous. You just got to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it can get dangerous in a second. Come in contact with the wrong person, it only takes 1 second. You know what I mean? So I feel pretty safe in the Philippines. Shit happens all over the place, though. You could look at all the shootings in the United States. You could be in a shopping mall and somebody pulls out a gun and just starts shooting, man. Or you could be at a parade, somebody pulls out an assault rifle and just starts blasting people. Or you could be in a crowd of people and somebody comes driving up in a moving truck and just starts plowing into people. So it could happen anywhere at any time. I don't really, where I've been in some really bad spots in Mexico. People are like, man, it's real dangerous around here. I was like, I don't give a shit if it's dangerous around here. I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? If it happens, it happens. We'll worry about it later. Working and dealing with Russia mafia.
Russia.
Yo, I noticed in the 80s when I came back from Hawaii, there was a boatload when Russia fell apart. And Tarzan, a guy that I met down there in South Beach, was trying to buy a decommissioned submarine from the Russian generals or something. He was trying to bring cocaine. I don't know. It's a whole crazy story. I met this guy. They call him Tarzan. It was Pink Pussycat or Porky's. It was a go-go bar at the far end of the Miami International Airport. I used to drop girls off there every night. Girls like this one, pretty girls. So everybody's like, oh, that old dude, he didn't get no women. Man, I had some beautiful women down there in South Beach, Miami. I was dropping them off to work. and they would try and seduce me. I remember the one girl just got paid. She was trying to give me money. I was like, I told the bitch, I'll throw you out of this car while it's moving. I had her by the hair. I was ready to open the door with this hand, steer with my left knee, and just shove her right out of the car going about 70 miles an hour down the road. She was trying to seduce me, drugs and money. I said, nah, I ain't got time for that shit. I'm dropping your ass off at work. Call me when you're done. She was like, you got to meet Tarzan. He owned a bar. Him and this other guy. Google Tarzan and Russian submarine. I met that clown. Mm, put it up.
Because you're back, bro.
Yeah, the Russian mob is serious. Working, wanting to scam project is on. Keep going. Keep clicking.
Working.
What time is it?
It's
What time it be? I like excitement if you guys can't tell.
1:29.
I've been on my best behavior. We'll go another 16 minutes. So for the 9 people in here, you got 16 minutes. Bobby, it does not matter how many guns a person has unless they know they're going to get to use them. I never missed a shot in yours. I always hit the dot from the age of 10. Yeah, you got to know that. I know you're right about that, Dane. I know so many people. I'll give you a perfect example. My mom's got a handgun in the house. I don't even think she knows how to load a handgun. Put the clip in the bottom and rack it one time. I said, Mom, you got to go to the, have your husband take you. And he's like, he's not thinking. You got 2 people in the house. Somebody does a home invasion. Chances are my mother's probably going to be closer to the gun than him. He's not going to have time to react because they're going after the guy first, right? So why not take my mom out, show her how to put the bullets in a clip in the bottom, take the safety off, rack one, you're ready to go, how to line it up, how to shoot. You know what I mean? You got a couple home protection guns. You got to have the people in the house got to know how to use them. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they might wind up using your guns. I've seen that happen before, where the people breaking into the house use the guns that are in there on the homeowner. It's sad. I believe if somebody breaks in your house, you got the right to shoot them dead where they're standing. Some states you got to prove that your life was in imminent danger. Fuck that. They're breaking the glass and are kicking your door in. Put a bullet in their head. That's the laws in Florida are pretty good, Dane. You got to have a good lawyer though. Next question. You got to be able to protect the castle. You know what I mean?
They will Humphrey. They will deliver bags or bricks as paid 100% up front. I had a meeting with some guerrillas in suits, and I had to fill in for what is MGR?
Manager.
Monitor
Engineering
errors.
manager.
And I am saying as per 1.2.4.
Yeah, gorillas in suits. They got some. The Russian mob. Yeah, they got some head cracking people.
If you
Like,
can,
where did these guys come from? Another planet?
if you can subcontract, we can see your design documents and our process guy says is impossible. Something like Mary? Here's a hell yes. 99.7% of the people suffered for 0.3%. 99.7% of the people suffered for 0.3%.
Yeah, so I think he's talking about war. When you go to war, you got like a small percentage of people that are calling the shots, and then like everybody's suffering because a bunch of idiots in charge. The nerve break. They converted electronic communication and other. Then they convert it back. I assume not just control, but fake nerve feedback. The nerve break they converted to electronic, communicated, and the other end then convert it back. I'm so just. I think he's talking about the. Oh, to jump across the break in the spinal column. My high tech mind is not working good. Microwaving peeps. Yeah. Cuban embassy. That's it. That's it right there. Microwaving peeps. Exactly.
The Navy developed over the horizon near me, so they shifted power lines to buried.
Wow. Because that would probably interfere with that stuff.
Never come back the same road. Road?
Route. Like
Route.
when I go out, when I used to go to work, I used to take different directions and then make 3 right turns and look in the rear view mirror, see if somebody's following you. All kinds of crazy shit I used to do back in the day.
Dreams altering vibration can affect the mind and body.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that vibration you could destroy like magnetic pulses. Like you could break up tumor cells and bad cells in the body. What's that? Oh, I'm trying to think of it. It's like you send out a sound wave and you turn it up the intensity. They're gonna wind up figuring out how to break up tumors and cancer using sound wave techniques. Like my uncle had testicular cancer. See, I don't like chemotherapy because you just get so sick. You're killing good cells and bad cells. They put some kind of isotope, like metal, they call them seeds, right in his sac, we'll just call it, right where the cancer was. So when they were blasting that with radiation, it was only going in that one spot. It wasn't causing like destruction throughout the rest of his body. And it worked. They were able to cure it. Some of that cancer treatment is like barbaric. And you're like thinking, how did they come up with these ideas? We got like 10 more minutes for the 10 people in here. I did some software.
For Mexican tequila factory. And peeps are saying dangerous area, and I figured it out. These dudes own and operate the factory. They have good enough connections. Sadly, I never went.
Yeah, if you're running a tequila factory, the cartel's part of it because the farmers that are harvesting that agave, that plant, a lot of them farmers are controlled by the organized crime in those areas. They're getting like protection money or kickbacks or whatever. They're getting a little bit of a kickback from the farmers, and any kind of alcohol winds up in not nightclubs, and they're going to be taxing the people that run that distillery. When people say it's dangerous, I don't know. I've heard different places were dangerous where I was living, and I don't know. I didn't feel like I was in fear of my life or something bad. You just got to be on your toes and don't let your guard down. I hardly ever let my guard down, no matter where I go. As I said, I was in the Algerian desert. The army refused to come out for a convoy. No plane, so a French guy
Shoot.
who shoots
His Sunday lunch venison.
venison.
He should shoot and I would drive.
There you go. One guy shooting, one guy driving. Don't sell, shoot your engine block around. Use a dashboard.
Can Americans own guns in the Philippines?
No, I guess you can if you're certain people can absolutely, but the average American coming to the Philippines, This one right here can own an assault rifle. So I'm thinking like the AR-15 or at least a pump shotgun, like a riot gun, would be nice to have. It maybe a pistol. You got the assault rifle, you got the pump shotgun, and then you got the handgun. That's the three guns for the house.
Foreigners are not allowed to own a gun
Hmm.
in the Philippines.
Just put it in your name. If it's in the house, it's in the drawer right here. We're good.
I live in a stand your ground
Exactly.
state, meaning if they walk on your land, you have the right to shoot to kill. I can kill a rabbit a mile away with one
There you go.
shot.
That 22 is a badass gun.
Jesse at Jesse Osby known. Frank Mabuhay, Bobby. I plan to move to the Philippines next year from Southwest Florida. Where you live are the buses and the sidewalks handicap accessible?
In this one street, it's handicap accessible with ramps and everything. I think you asked me this question, Frank, and I didn't answer it. The buses are not handicap accessible, but if you hire a driver up here, they will basically lift you up and put you inside the vehicle. Like Darrell would put his hand under my right ass cheek and literally shove me up in the air, and I'm grabbing onto the holy shit handle that's inside the van to help pull myself up or to get in the front seat. You know, they got the handle right above the window that's bolted into the rooftop of the car, the part of the frame where it's reinforced. I would grab onto that handle, praying that the handle didn't like the bolts pull out, and be like looking at the handle as I'm falling, right? So he would grab my legs. I would grab that handle because my upper body strength is still pretty good. And I would pull myself up and he would just push me into the van and I would get in there like that. One time I had a problem. I didn't have socks on and my toes got busted up. I busted my toenail backwards. It got caught on that step. You know, when you open a sliding door on the side of the van, there's that one step right there. Then it steps up to the main level where the seats are bolted in. There was a step right there, and my toes, when he was trying to push me up, my toes, I was on my toes like a ballerina, and it snapped my big toenail. I heard a pop, and then my toes were bleeding. And everybody's like, "Where's the blood coming from?" He snapped my toenail off. So it was all right. The security guard, there's so many helpful people in Philippines. What messed us up was the security guard come running over and he just like he was shoving. He started shoving me. I'm like, yo, hold on a minute, dude. Like he just started shoving me. And I'm like, that's what screwed everything up is when that guy jumped in to help. He was just trying to be nice, but I already had Darrell. We had like a system down and this dude screwed it up. How did you get a purple robe on? That's the what's the patch say on that? That's the Purple Heart veterans. When I was in a nursing home, they gave me a Christmas present. They said, "We heard you're a veteran." Christmas present and that robe, which was super cool. I like that bathrobe. Southwest Florida. Hmm. So the sidewalks, if you're in Mactan, Newtown, in this area, you're good. You go out to the main road, it's gonna be hectic. It's definitely hectic out there. Manila, I don't really like Manila. It's too populated, too overbuilt. I like it around here, Mactan, Newtown. The driver shows up downstairs in the basement. I come down in the elevator, come out in a wheelchair, zoom, right in the van, takes us wherever we need to go. He would like follow us around in the stores, make sure everything was all right. And he was a good driver because they drive like crazy. I see people driving on the sidewalks. If there's a way to go and that light turns green and there's like a hesitation, they're just going on the sidewalk. I'm like, God damn, they would never be able to get away with none of this stuff in the United States. You got like this one here. Dad's driving. You got niece, which her name is Faith. She's a little one. That's Ramey's kid. She's on the gas tank. So that's dad, Faith. That's two. Nixie, Isla, and Ramey, and mom on the motorbike,
No,
the
only
scooter.
mom. Only mom.
I seen it. She's telling you a story. I seen like 6 or 7 people on a motorcycle. I'm like, God damn it. Then the brakes, dad talking about the brakes ain't working. I was like, oh no. So I was sending money. I said, yo, tell him to get the, I don't even think he fixed the brakes. Antonio, if you're watching, this is what we're talking about. People driving down a road at nighttime with their lights off, talking about they're going to save gasoline. Come on, man. That alternator, that circuit working, it's not saving no gasoline. For my Filipinas and Filipinos out there, use your lights at nighttime. It does not save gasoline by not having your running lights on and your headlights and all that. You see a lot of people driving around with their lights off around here. It's crazy. So dad was like, I'm going to the cockfight, or I'm gonna go get some Imperador. He's like, we'll fix the brakes later. I'm like, damn, riding around with no brakes on a scooter. I was referring to the pandemic. 99.7% of people suffered for less than 3% of the population. There you go. In other words, microwave, was it worth it? Exactly. Exactly. 0.3% of the population died or suffered. So you're going to lock everything down. They locked everything down so they can accomplish what they wanted to do. They got ulterior motives. They're not going to tell you, "Oh, we're going to print all this money. We're going to manipulate the stock market. We're going to take all this money from this group of people and put it over here." They're not going to tell you what they're doing. They're not, they disrupt shit on purpose. That's how people get rich. That's how people get, when there's chaos going on, people are making money. When this shit's hectic, that's when people are making money. They know exactly what they're doing.
I think the best technique for cancer is fasting to starve sugar and then maybe they will chemo.
Yeah, sugar's bad, man. Sugar
Always
just
be
fuels the
careful
fire. I was telling
with
Isla,
your sack.
this urinary tract infection I have, the minute you drink anything with sugar in it, it just adds, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. Sugar is bad. Your
Your
spouse
spouse
would
will
have to
know,
own.
man.
Exactly.
Although
There you
with an
go.
AR-15, better keep your
Hell
sweet
yeah.
body.
In a bathing suit. Or how about the 50 caliber bolt action, and have like a shot of her standing there holding it with the gun up to her shoulder, and then slow motion her legs, your ass jiggling. Because the shell's like that long. It'll go right through an engine block and come screaming out the other side and through the rim of the
Good job.
car.
Frank, thanks for answering my question. I may move to one Manchester
It's in the
place.
right place. And they had a problem with the water pressure. They do have a little bit of construction noise going on outside. They're building another tower next door. But if you close the window and turn on the air, it's not too bad. If you're watching TV, it really won't, it doesn't bother you. And I would guesstimate, I don't know how much longer that's going to be going on for. Are they building a tower right there?
Right there?
Over there, right? But what's that going on over there? Is that the parking
Only
garage?
here.
I don't know
The
what they're
the
doing out there.
building.
They're building a whole bunch of stuff around here.
Yeah, they build another building, another condo again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how many people we got here? 9.
Nine.
Get ready to sign off. What time is it, babes?
It's 4:32.
All right, it's past my bedtime. Wait, go back. I want to read that. Go back. Back. Right there. HK, that's the gun manufacturer. Hockler and Kosh. I can't remember how to say that. H and K. They got a P90 machine gun, I think it is, that I liked. H and K, that submachine gun. I think the United States FBI uses it. When that kid from Cuba or Miami, Florida was getting sent back, I remember the picture of that FBI agent with a P90 machine gun, and I was like, "That's my gun." Factory in Nottingham. There's also a range under Nottingham. There you go. That's a good gun. I like that. I like that manufacturer. Reliable. Next question. You got to get you a P90 machine gun with the telescopic
Sir,
stock.
yes, sir. Oh.
45
or
50
50
cal perimeter. Peeps outside in the garden. There you go.
Remember, Bobby loved me. I know because I said I too.
Okay.
Thanks, all, and Bobby. Nice talking to you all again.
All right,
Thank
Jess.
you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for that super sticker.
Thank you.
That was super cool.
What is that? Edrits. Thank you.
Edrets, thank you very much. That made my night. Everybody, God bless you.
Thank you, everybody.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do. So basically, you could just do whatever you want. I hold well over 100 guns. Don't tell us we're coming to your house to steal them when you're not there. Enough ammo, 20 years. One shot, one kill, one each. There you go. That's that thing they were having a shootout with this crazy guy in his driveway, and Ilo was like, "What's that?" They threw a flashbang, and then they got the one with the bright light that explodes, but then they also got the one with the ball, the big rubber balls that blow out of it that sting the living shit out of you when them balls hit you, and it disorients you. My friend said they threw one through his picture window, and he could see people moving around his front room because they threw two or three of them through the window. Like one came in and then two right after that. And when them things popped off, he said he could see people through his eyelids. That's how bright that flashbang was. And then he said the last one they threw through the window had a bunch of rubber ball bearings in it. And when it blew up, he said it felt like a hive of bees stung him all on his stomach and his chest and the side of his face. All right, Gary, I'll be talking to you soon. Tell you what the plan is.
Sorry.
Why are you always making your voice deep like a man?
Yeah, because like
yeah, exactly. You get hit in the eye with that thing, you're out of gas. They could bust your eyes. Just a sack of water is all it is. Oh yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Like Gary Johnson says, hang loose. Shaka, brother. Bye, everybody. Till next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like.
And subscribe.
Yeah, disease. It's time for bed.
Like the do.
Straight out.
Like the do.
Time for me to smoke a cigarette. All right, Bobby's smoking a cigarette. I don't have any soda.